peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Na ndipo mimi nasema, mimi haja yangu, wengine wanawaambia Uhuru anataka kutawala. Mimi najua mwaka ujao mimi naenda nyumbani. Mimi sina shida na hiyo. Sina shida. Lakini nia yangu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba wale ambao wataendelea hawatakuwa watu ya kunyanyasa na kuibia wananchi. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Nia yangu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba wale ambao wataendelea watakuwa na hiyo roho ya kuunganisha Wakenya, sio kuwaganya Wakenya. Namna gani bwana? Kwa hivyo mwambie wale wanazunguka wakinitusi, mimi sijali. Mimi haja yangu ni wananchi wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, na hawa ndio watakuwa mstari yangu ya mbele kuhakikisha nimewatendea kulingana na zile ahadi niliwapatia. Nyinyi mnataka tupigane jameni? Jameni, tukiwa na BBI ambaye inasema ya kwamba nyinyi watu wa Nairobi mtaongezewa constituencies, na ndio kama ni basari, mtoto wa Mathare ambaye leo hii akienda kutafuta basari anapatiwa shilingi 500 basari, huyo mtoto atasoma mpaka university? Atasoma mpaka university? Lakini kuna mtoto mwingine wa Kenya ambaye anapata shilingi 1,100 basari kwa mwaka. Hiyo ni haki? Alafu nyinyi watu wa Nairobi hapa mnanyeta ati hamtapitisha BBI. BBI sio ya kusaidia Uhuru, sio ya kusaidia Raila. Ni wewe my friend utafaidika wewe. Ni wewe. Na imewezekana kwa sababu ya ule umoja tuliweza kupatana wakati tulipata handshake, na tukasema sisi haja yetu ni kuongea juu ya maslahi ya wananchi wetu na hatutapigana tena kisiasa. Wacha tukae meza moja tuongee juu ya maslahi na maisha ya wananchi wa Kenya.
A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us today. This is The Punch, where we get to look at the week that was, stories that trended and made it to the headlines in Kenya and indeed across the world. My name is Mira Moguto, and it is a pleasure to have you this morning. And so our topics that we have lined up for you will start with the BBI, and then we'll look at the Chief Justice slot, because we know that we're in the process of getting our new Chief Justice, and then after the former Chief Justice retired, and then we shall look at the impeachment of Deputy President William Ruto, which I see is still making headlines here on the Star newspaper, and then we shall look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, and then of course we know that some senators, nominated senators from Jubilee Party were expelled this week, but they were reinstated. And then the ICJ case between Kenya and Somalia, and we shall look at the new ICC, Chief Prosecutor, and then finally we shall end with the latest on post-election there in Uganda. As we know right now, there is a case in the High Court in Uganda challenging President Museveni's win. So what is at stake there in Uganda? So that is just what we have in store for you. So before I go far, I'll hand us over to Dr. David Matanga at the Political Command Center.
Thank you very much. Exactly, Miriam. Today we are going to be very fantastic, like that. Thank you. I like it. If you have any story that you have seen in the newspaper that makes your heart, let's change things a bit. Any story, all of you have read the stories on the newspaper. In Guinea, you have read your story. You have seen all the newspapers, the three of them. The headlines Miriam has read, can read for you if you want. If you haven't looked at the story, pick a story that as you have liked from your end of the paper, so that we don't waste much time on hammering page by page, paper by paper. For me, the BBI, and let's discuss the BBI. The BBI, from the point of the legacy trend, where I am now, is one of the best documents that will unite Kenya, leave united Kenya, leave a country united. There is no way you talk about elections of 2022 when you have not formalized and normalized the arrangement under which these elections will be done. Ladies and gentlemen, those watching us, I just want to be very frank with you that if Kenya does not work on its elections, let's not do it. Let's avoid it. You go to the extent of even arranging somehow, but clean your electoral commission, clean your electoral mechanisms, then you can hold the elections. That's my view. 2, 34 of the 47 counties. If you can look at the map, I have done some good analysis using all, my political science that I studied of patterns, voting pattern, language, pointers, demographics. If I look at it, 34 of the counties, including the following: Mombasa, Kilifi, Tana, Taita, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Embu, Kitui, Machakos, Makueni, Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Kiambu, Turkana, put it in a swing. I will tell you why. Turkana, I've left it in the likely to vote, but I will tell you the reasons for BBI. We are now coming down to narrow the BBI. We have been talking too much about BBI, but let's narrow down. See which counties are going to vote. You are in, each of you are in Nakuru, for example. The engineer will tell us what is going on in Nakuru. What do people feel in Nakuru? So like Kipia, West Pokot, Kajiado, Kakamega, Vihiga, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Busia, Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, Nyamira, Nairobi. Those are 34 counties. 34 counties likely, and I've used the word likely. I did an analysis yesterday to got overwhelming. I think, Kidi, you have seen how many people are on it. And I have helped some people here who are quacks in political science. They just pretend that they studied the subject, like a Ruto. These are some of the people who mushroom around, who cannot even grow one plant, yet he studied a PhD in botany and zoology. And what is the other subject called? The study of plants. You can't grow even a plant. You can't even give us one form of millet. And then you call yourself a PhD holder. These PhD holders where people went on writing for you. Shut up. Let's come to the reality. That and for me on this show, we speak the truth. If you don't want to speak the truth, you keep quiet a bit. But here we tell the truth. The Deputy President has not so far given us any alternative seed for the growth of millet. Yes, so the study, if you get a PhD, you must. Me, I have got this in political science. I hammer my subject. This is my food. This is my food. Nalala na muka kwa hii chakula ya siasa. I studied it. So you cannot study law and then you go on studying animal zoology and how animals breed. No, I cannot try. So that is what I do. So I analyze these things engineer and the panel and the viewers, I found the counties that are likely to shoot down the BBI, so that when you discuss hammer wherever you are, what you want, bring in your dues. Kwale, we shall lose. Lamu, we shall lose. Masabit, we shall lose. Isiolo, we shall lose. Samburu, we shall lose. Trans Nzoia, we shall lose. UG, we shall lose. Elgeyo Marakwet, we shall lose. Nandi, we shall lose. Baringo, we shall lose. Nakuru, 50-50 swing. I will tell you why Nakuru, I put it in this category. Nakuru, Kericho, Bomet, we shall lose. But the swing counties, what we call in politics, now we are analyzing Rio Siasa, swing. Hapana kukuja kuambia watu, even these people of Kenya, they don't even know what to swing. What is a swing count? We want to educate people in Kenya and Africa. One of the problems that we have in Guinea are idiots who come over television to be presenters and create us chaos and even create amnesia in our brains. We want to bring material swing counties on this BBI. Trans Nzoia, Kericho, Turkana, Narok, and Nakuru. Professor, engineer. I've started with swing counties. And the Miriam, the panel, those are, I don't know whether you got it nicely, but let me send it to Stephen to put it direct on the screen.
It is
so
on
that
the screen.
People can see.
It is on the screen already.
Team, you have done it already?
Yes, they have.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam. That is the way I see the voting. At the end of the day, when all this dust is rested, engineer, we expect four counties to vote, and even more. But there are swing counties where we are not sure. Nakuru, they could bring chaos, but it could go if Chinyanjui governor works hard. Okay, counties like Turkana, Nano is a Kapedo man, very seriously determined to join his fellow fifth down this way, who steal animals, taking them to their farms. You know, it has pained me so much, engineer, when you see animals loaded in a lorry, delivered in the great center for you to eat. We eat stolen meat, engineer.
Very unfortunate.
We eat stolen meat, Miriam. Time has come for Kenyans, and especially Kidi, Douglas, Karanja. We revolt against stolen meat, so that these animals. Can I tell you, Miriam? Give me 1 minute, and I'm not going to speak again. One of the thieves who stole the cow in Kapedo was arrested in Uganda. One of the 200 people who escaped from prison has been sentenced to 30 years. And guess what? If look at him, they sent me the pictures. When that court marshal of Uganda picked him from West Pokot area, he was coming. And I was telling people here in Kenya that this is, watch that trend. The type of killings in Kapedo are killings of well-trained soldiers, isn't it? Today, Uganda Army, UPDF, impounded one man with guns and cows. They have sentenced him to 30 years. One of those recovered from the prison where he escaped. Mutambe, the Rift Valley commissioner was right to say they pursued the rustlers until they ran towards Uganda in West Pokot, isn't it? So now, where was I wrong? People who called me wrong, where? The man is there, sentenced to 30 years. With cows that he had, every cow in Uganda is marked. So if you bring in a cow which is not marked, You must have been wrestling. Thank you very much. Over to engineer. Those are the counties. What is your view?
Thank you very much. And first of all, let me say thank you, Dr. for the little talk we had. And we've always talked, and finally I'm actually online. It's good to meet the new team. I think my face will become a bit normal with time. Today is still very new. Thank you for having me. But on to the points that you've just raised, I think I agree with you. There is a very big problem. And if I may concentrate on the swing vote for Nakuru, and you are very right on, we are not very sure about Nakuru whether it will support or it won't. And there are many reasons. First of all, let me remind you, one of the things that the politicians have perfected in Nakuru, they've always told Nakuru that if Nakuru coughs, the country catches a cold. And over time, this has actually become the thing. If you look at Baringo, many a times they look at Nakuru. If you look at Kericho, they look and wait to hear what happens in Nakuru. If there is peace declared in Nakuru, the country actually goes at peace. So even now, there must have been a lot of force and a lot of energy, concentrated in Nakuru to actually see them that they actually don't support. And there's also a lot of energy being, put to ensure that they support. But if you go down again, back into our elections from the year 2013 all through to 2017, you will notice there has been a lot of influence into who gets into office. And without fear of contradiction, a lot of those who went into office, many are they that were affiliated to one line or one side of the political divide. And even now, if you look at the sentiments that are actually coming out, are basically in support of the very line that took them into office. If you look at 2013, you remember there was a cliche that we talked of the shambolic nominations. I mean, all those things have been done in Nakuru to actually divert the attention of the leaders and even the constituents to exactly, go into a particular direction. So in this case, we are being pushed to the side of Tanga. Few are those who have refused that line, including myself, because you do not force me or press me so that I go into your support. I support you. That is what is happening in Nakuru. Just yesterday, you saw there was some chaos at the assembly when one particular individual actually came out and opposed. And they have their own reasons for opposing. And they're saying that this thing has not been subjected to public participation. They would want, the document to go down to the people. They want the documents provided so that people can read, blah, blah, blah. In as much as at some point we tend to agree there is all this need. But you notice many are they that do not want people to concentrate on the content. They want us to remain on the political side as opposed to the content. But personally, I've gone through the document and it is a perfect document. I was telling Doctor the other day. This document is so good that many people have failed to look at it. But the politicians of this country have always drawn a wedge, not specifically to benefit the people, but to benefit, or rather, but to what? It's called what? Self-interest, personal interest. That is exactly what these people are pushing. If you look at the issue of resource allocation, the other day when the CRA at the Senate presented their report, these people went ahead and looked at the document and said it was not good enough. These are people who have done their research, they have their numbers, they have their detailed analysis of the very region, but at the end of the day, these people sit and decide, because it does not serve my interest, this document is not good, therefore we shall water it down. Now, after that, the BBI comes and considers the same sentiments, which is what is representative of the Kenyan people. Then again, these people go back and decide, no, we should now not support this document because, again, it deals with the people. It handles or directs the resource to the people. So we must be very clear here. Politicians will always do their job, which is self-interest. But we must be able to stand up and tell the people the truth and where they actually stand to benefit, which is where I stand even today.
Thank you. Miriam, before you call in the next presenter, engineer has brought a very important point. What is public participation? How many people in this Africa know what public participation is? This morning I wrote and I said, public participation in Africa, if you don't say a conference will be followed by chakula, be honest. If you don't say that this conference will be followed by food and other drinks, there will be no public participation. And let's agree on that. How many people in Africa can gather in a meeting these days without them asking you, even when they have 10,000 shillings in the pocket, that I need a transport to go home? As if you are 200, you are pulling out of the pocket. Is it more valuable, or it came from Angel Gabriel and it will deliver you home with some miracles? Is that public participation? Where is public participation? How far do we call public participation? This constitutional amendment should go to tell us how many people are interested in public participation. If I ask the panel here, for people now on this panel to name me 20 governors without looking at their phones, very few people will name them. Yes. So as you look at our sample, we are very few people. We are 6. We are 4 people here. 6 people. But we cannot name more than 25 governors or 20 by name. What about the population out there in Samburu? There are some people in Kenya who still think that President Kibaki is still the president. Yes. You go to Congo. In Africa, the entire Africa, some Pidginese think Mobutu Sese Seko is still the president. Because they have never seen Medium. They don't know where there is a road, where there is something called public. What? This thing is just used by courts and is used by people. You mean Ruto did not see the committee of BBI flying around with the helicopters? He was in the government. He didn't. Let's be honest. Didn't Ruto see? He chose one of the people to be on the BBI committee. 3 people. You mean they did not ever meet him to tell him what was going on? So look at it. First, our civics is wrong. When we grew up in the engineer and perhaps Medium and others who are in their beginning to be old, when we grew up, we used to have a subject called civics. Civics, the study of your surroundings, where you are, who is your local chief. Ask any one of you on here, Karanja from Nanyuki, who is your local chief name? The name of your local chief. Do you know him? It is only when a thief has stolen your chicken, then you start knowing the local chief. Oh, ako wapi hapa terere? Where is the chief? The chief you don't even know. So we have a problem here. And the Kenyans should stop using excuses. Africans, how many people go out to vote? Look at the election of Uganda. How many people voted? 9 million out of 19 million people. And yet all of them went and lined up to get cards, voting cards. Where did they go? Now today, you are saying this is this, that is that. Public participation is never there in Africa unless you slaughter goats. If they hear there is animal, some animals have seen the dust of the ground. Watu watakuja wengi. Lakini sema after this national prayer, national anthem, we depart. Hakuna mtu atakuja. Lakini unasema on your invitation, after the president has spoken, we move on to State House Nakuru, where we usually go with my friend there, Engineer Ngatia. We moved there to hammer some rice. Those days, rice, mchere, kugonga mchere. Those days there was good rice and a beer. You can come out. These days is only the food that goes along with flies, flies and the bees like soda. So if you are going there to drink, you don't go because people misused it. People used to carry this beer and you are getting out with it. So we still have very bad manners in this country, in all countries in Africa, not only Kenya. So that is the point I wanted to bring in. Back to you, Miriam. I'm now quiet.
All right, Doctor, thank you for that. And Engineer Victor Ngatia, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And also on the panel this morning, we do have Kidi Mwaga, we have Douglas Kirimi, and as well as Chivan Karanja. So I'll start with you, Kidi. Of course, the issue of public participation that our engineer raised there, and Doctor has built on it. The committee that was mandated to go and collect views from a section of Kenyans across the country, does that not qualify as public participation? Douglas?
I'm here. I am here. Okay. Sorry. I was saying that the question of public participation is one of the national values and principles of governance and anticipated in Article 10 of the Constitution. The only shortfall is that the country has not moved forward. The National Assembly, in the last 8 years, has not moved ahead to pass a legislation that then places a legal framework on which that public participation should rest upon. Because you realize that what passes for public participation in a number of the counties may not be what is public participation by the national government. But then at the very least, the public participation is that the people are given an opportunity to participate in the affairs of the running of their government, be it a county government or the national government. When we come to the BBI process, the public participation was conducted thoroughly and comprehensively, and I will demonstrate that the task force was able to work in all the 47 counties. Secondly, that task force was able to receive petitions from the members of the public through mails, through letters, and through such avenues. When that was done, we went ahead and had the release of the first report. Then we went to the validation period where the commission again was receiving petitions both at Grand Regency and the KICC. Today, when we published the bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020, the counties have got their own responsibility of ensuring that they predicate public participation on this bill. And I will give an example of Siaya County. That when the Speaker of the County Assembly, Mr. Kode, before subjecting the bill to the vote, did what is called simultaneous public participation in all the 8 sub-counties in Siaya. So that in every sub-county, there was public participation that was going on the same day. Each of those sub-counties and wards within those respective sub-counties were giving their views on what they think that report should contain or not contain. Mm-hmm. So that when the bill was then brought to the county assembly, the members were able to then proceed and vote. I am a proponent, an unconditional proponent of the BBI process. And I am part of those who believe that as people who support the BBI, who believe that the BBI process is going to remove us from a country of small politics to a country of politics that is able to transform itself, that we cannot afford to pass legislations that do not meet legal and constitutional thresholds. It is therefore should have been incumbent upon the Speaker of the County Assembly of Baringo, for instance, to ensure that in his wisdom, that he predicates grounds upon which the members of the public would have a chance to participate in that process. Mm-hmm. But then I will say something that Daktari mentioned before, that some of these counties have been taken hostage with the transactional politics. That members, people who are in positions of responsibility, are then summoned in certain quarters and given certain threats or inducements to act in certain way, not in the interest of the public, but in the interest of their political masters.
Very well.
As for the sake of Baringo, Miriam, as I conclude, it is very regrettable to the people of Baringo that they are rejecting an opportunity to receive extra funding to the people of Baringo so that they can transform the lives of their own people because they are playing small politics. Thank you.
But in Baringo, before you go, because you are Kanu, you have already told us you are Kanu member.
Yes.
Why didn't Gideon Moi call this MCS for lunch? I've been asked a question to ask you by a person in this country. He said, why did Gideon Moi fail to call the MCS for lunch in his Kabarak home? Or because the politics of Africa, wacha tuambiane ukweli, politics of Africa is still the politics ya kukula. Yeah. Yes. And let Gideon learn from this. And let's not watch, knowing that politics of Africa, some of us are going to be insulted. I'm being insulted because of the defense of the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Daktari, in a minute, so or
why is it? I brought another debate so that other people can engage. Was it the lack of chakula? Because a human being lives with the head, the heart, and the stomach. Where did we go wrong here? Why should his friend, the other thief from Sungoi, was able to manipulate, was able to buy lunch? When these guys came here in the Jubilee headquarters, Walai Mungu, I'm told, now I'm just being told seriously, nobody looked after them. So this guy, as usual, sent a vehicle. Alituma mavehicle mbili, beba what? And chukua hawa. What is wrong with holding a small hotel and tupa watu chakula? These guys went back to Baringo, well organized. It is how is Gideon going to sell the BBI? How, you tell me now? Okay. I'm being honest, and I leave it to Miriam. I hope Miriam answers those questions.
Yes.
Well, I must say that one, you realize that in 2017, Kanu's performance declined, and it is one of those things that we are course correcting today. The ISOPs once observed that a honest man is always a child. In 2017, especially in the Rift Valley, there were two dominant parties, KANU and Jubilee. And KANU, presuming that Jubilee was well-intentioned, was well-meaning, decided not to engage in intense sibling rivalry. And therefore, you realize that even in places like Baringo, my party chairman was funding either KANU or Jubilee candidates because he believed that all these were people who are supporting the president. However, we did not realize that the other party, our sibling within the coalition, was keen to undermine our presence.
Okay.
It is imperative to note that in Baringo, all the KANU MCAs voted for the BBI process. And that speaks to that we were able to rally our troops to a man. So those who voted against this process are people whom we gave the benefit of doubt and have demonstrated that they can always sink to the level of what I would call small politics.
Okay, thank you, Kidi, for that clarification. So we saw the chaos, and now that you brought up that conversation, the chaos that rocked the Baringo County yesterday during the debate on the Building Bridges Initiative Constitutional Amendment Bill. Douglas, I don't know what you make of the events that went down yesterday in Baringo County.
Thank you, Miriam. And also, we need to understand that our country, the way we are premised, we are not premised on chaos and also violence. Why would the Baringo County Assembly continue fighting their counterparts who are supporting BBI and those that were not supporting BBI? All these are put it on the door of Dr. William Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who has infiltrated these counties and who wants to continue sabotaging the peace process in this country It is the same man who has gone ahead and also paid MCAs, so that Gideon Moi, who is known to be very stingy, who does not give money. He gives so much money that there will be chaos in Baringo County Assembly until these people want to be dispersed using a tear gas. At the end of the day, we need to demystify the issues of violence in terms of our political engagement. It is only where Deputy President William Ruto has an interest where people fight. Why have we not experienced fighting in Kisumu County, in Siaya County, and in other counties? We have not seen chaos in various and all that. Deputy President William Ruto should desist from funding people and also causing violence when he does not have his way. At the end of the day, whether BBI passes or not, Kenya remains one, these county assemblies will remain one, these MCAs will remain one until their mandate expires in 5 years' time. So Deputy President William Ruto, he carries himself as a man of God. Instead, what he has been doing around the country is to continue sponsoring violence against the people of Kenya and against the image of the Republic of Kenya. When the people of Baringo rejects BBI, it is not me who loses, it is the people of Baringo who loses. It is William Ruto who is denying his people resources over 5 billion that would have improved the livelihood of the people of Baringo for his own political expediency. And this kind of chameleon politics and hybrid political conmanship is what we are talking about. This is what we are saying that should be breached and also should not be brought to the fore of our political engagement in the national arena. We have seen the same man invent the same political violence methods across the central Kenya today. Today, a member of county assembly can fight one another in central Kenya because of William Ruto. At his backyard in Baringo, these people are being denied resources because they think that their man has said that BBI is not good for them, is good to prevent him from becoming a president in 2022. Let me remind Dr. William Ruto again, becoming president is a personal ambition. It will only become our interest as a people when he becomes the commander-in-chief and is sworn in. At the end of the day, when he gets his salary as president, he'll take it to his wife and children. And I, Douglas Bubi Kilime, I have no stake in his presidency except when he becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya. And for the people of Baringo County, as this man continues poisoning your cherries and also poisoning your minds against BBI process that brings 5 billion shillings to the county of Baringo, DMCAs, you need to see who William Ruto is. At a cost of 50,000 or 100,000, you shut down the BBI bill that is going to guarantee that more resources come to the people. One development fund so that you can be dependent of the corrupt hand of the Sugoi man, William Ruto, who has been stealing public resources and giving you small handouts so that you can continue besmirching the BBI process, so that you can continue destroying what can be able to better lives of people in Baringo. We'll continue hearing about cattle rustling in Baringo. We'll continue hearing about insecurity in Baringo. We'll continue hearing about bad roads in Baringo because there will be no resources trickling down in Baringo County. Because the leadership in Baringo is inept, from the speaker, the senator, Gideon Moi, who cannot control that MCAs and he wants to become president. They need to be able to think as a people on what becomes better for them, because William Ruto doesn't live in Baringo. William Ruto doesn't live in Sugoi. William Ruto lives in Nairobi, and they need to be able to separate political ambitions of William Ruto, which are individual, and their issues as a county medium. Because if this county shoots down 5 billion from BBI process, that is going to guarantee them that their security is going to improve, their loans are going to improve, and all that, why are they going to end their future on a one man who promised the people of Arol and Kimorel, he promised them dams, 2 dams, what he has gifted them are thickets and bushes. This is a man that cannot be trusted by the people of Baringo. I feel sad as a Kenyan today, as a man of goodwill outside Baringo County today, because this is one county that is not going to benefit from 5 billion because the corrupt hand of Dr. William Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, has infiltrated the county assembly. The people of Baringo, Miriam, are suffering because William Ruto is going to continue besmirching the BBI process to these county assembly members, and so that Baringo will continue ragging behind and all that. I tired talking about this man, Miriam.
Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Douglas Kilime there from Meru.
Thank you.
Yes, and as we talk right now, there is underway right now a debate in Uasin Gishu County on the BBI at Uasin Gishu County Assembly. So I don't know, Javan, what are we likely to what is likely to come out in Uasin Gishu, and what do you make of the events that happened yesterday in Baringo County Assembly?
Thank you, Miriam, for giving me the opportunity to weigh my opinion on the discussion around BBI and what is transpiring and happening in our county assemblies. So far, you have seen 3 counties passing the bill, and yesterday what we experienced in Baringo, that was something that was quite calming, because we saw the MCAs are quite aligned to the Jubilee Party, and the Jubilee Party, which is Tanga Tanga. Therefore, we experienced, and we know that is where the Deputy President comes from. Therefore, he has a say when it comes to matter of regional politics, and Baringo being part of a Rift Valley and the Winder Kalenjin nation. Then I expected something of sort to happen. But one thing that I must say, and I have heard Dr. and Akidi talks about Gideon Moi. One, Gideon Moi, for the lack of good words, this is a man who is positioning himself as a national leader, but background, he does not have a foundation from where he comes from. You know, in this region, if you don't have a numbers, you can't go and champion for a bigger seat at like of the Deputy Prime Minister, when where you come from, nobody is listening to you. And I think Gideon Moi needs to wake up and do some work. He has been concentrating on Garissa and Meru. I don't know what is good in Garissa and Meru, rather than concentrating on taking development to the people of Baringo.
For your information, he marries from those areas. So it is nothing wrong him going to see his in-laws. Please. If I'd married in Siaya, in this game area, there is nothing that would have stopped me to go and see the beautiful game scenery. Would there be? Yeah, I would tell Miriam every weekend.
Daktari, I will have a right of response to all of this that my brothers have said.
Let me first finish
can
my...
Jevon finish his thought? Jevon, go ahead and complete your thought, please.
No, I just gave him
Therefore, what I'm saying.
All right, thank you, Doctor, for that.
I have not interrupted. I'm giving him information.
Thank you.
Why Gideon is interested in this area, Mrs. Gideon is a Borana from those areas. So you better get votes from your in-law, then come back home. Jesus did not get his vote in Nazareth. He went out. He was never liked in Nazareth. So Gideon will answer you that.
All right.
But now it is a call for him. Yes.
Yes, and I think Jesus was different. Right now, I think charity usually should begin at home, so that is a challenge that Gideon has to work out. But Jevon, complete your thought.
Thank you, Doctor, for weighing in. And, you know, when you concentrate more on your in-law than concentrating on where you come from, then you'll miss something. Therefore, at the end of the day, the Deputy President, and Miriam, I agree, and Victor Gatti has said this, when we had the Jubilee primaries, Dr. William Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta giving him a chance to oversee the Jubilee primaries, he did one thing, and he did it very well, that he positioned his people, those people who support him, into various positions. Today, the noise that is coming from Mount Kenya region comes from the people, Deputy President position into position of senators and position of members of parliament. Look, for example, Didi Nyoro, Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Kuria. Some of these people, they rigged in their way through Jubilee nominations to be where they are today. Therefore, they must be loyal to the person who put them in power. The same person is promising them good, higher positions. If we get to form the government, the same people are being promised good position. Like in the case of Muranga, Didi Nyoro might go for the senator or the governor of Muranga. Therefore, when you see this, and he promised them to finance them, therefore these people must be loyal, because that is where they feel that their interests are being championed. Therefore, what happened in Baringo was a culmination of what was happening in 2017 Jubilee nominations. Therefore, as we move on, we need to see leaders, especially those who support the BBI, going out and calling and having discussions with these MCAs so that they can go there and pass this BBI. Because, Miriam, if we fail to get the 24 counties, the BBI will be at a crossroad. We might not proceed to the next level. But said and done, in the matter of public participation, I have seen various counties from Mount Kenya region requesting people to go and participate, to give their views on what they expect the MCAs to go. Here in Laikipia, it is on 17th of February, where people will go and participate, speak and give their opinions on why they as a ward, they expect the MCAs to pass or not to pass the BBI bill in the county assembly. Therefore, on the issue of public participation, is something that has been there, only that it has not been carried out in a way that it will reach more people, because the people who are invited or the people who goes to this participation, to some extent, they have political interest. They are people who have gone to school, rather than those people who might be ignorant in the village. Some of them don't attend these things. One, these debates mostly they are organized in English or Kiswahili, and we have some people who will not come and debate, give their views in English or Kiswahili, remembering on the matter of illiteracy in this country. Therefore, the issue of ignorance, ignorance is something that Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was fighting, and is something that is still affecting us as a nation. Therefore, what I expect to happen in Uasin Gishu today, nothing different from what happened in Baringo. These are the same people who passed the Punguza Muzigo initiative in Uasin Gishu. Therefore, we expect them to go where the deputy president comes from, and that to some extent is accepted in our politics. Only that the deputy president wants to change that. When he comes to Mount Kenya region, he wants us, the people, not to follow what President Uhuru Kenyatta says. But when he goes to Rift Valley, he wants to be respected. He wants to go and have a say. Therefore, we must respect our regional politics as we move to the national politics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Victor Ngati. Very important points there Jevan has brought out. And today, as I mentioned there earlier, debate is currently underway in Uasin Gishu County on BBI at the County Assembly. Are we likely to see any surprises today?
Engineer. Yeah, switch off. Unmute, yes.
Sorry, I don't know why I thought that was to Javan. Miriam, just bring it down to me again.
Yes, I'm saying Jevan has brought out very pertinent issues there, even mentioning that what is happening today in Uasin Gishu, he expects that people vote in the siding with the deputy president because he commands the respect. But when it comes to President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard, he does not want President Uhuru Kenyatta's home ground to accord him the same respect. But that aside, the debate currently is underway in Uasin Gishu County. Are we likely to see any surprises from that county today in regards to the BBI?
Definitely, we know whose backyard that is, and I don't expect to see anything like a support of the BBI, because if you look at the many legislators, the likes of Sudi, who are just next to Uasin Gishu, and you know how vocal he has been in support of the deputy president, and seeing everything as in a negative manner, we don't expect anything different. They will not support the BBI. In the event they support the BBI, which should be a miracle, then of course that would be a very high indication of, what do you call it, the deputy president losing his backyard. And of course, he wouldn't want to push a Baringo win and forget his backyard that he might also lose, because that would be again giving precedence or giving props to Gideon, where he lost in the Senate, in the county assembly. So I don't expect much difference. But that said, I still expect the BBI support to flop in Uasin Gishu, simply because of that simple reason. But then again, I also would want, as we look at these things, and I would want Dr. Masanga to come in on this one, I think at times we look at these documents, and even when we were coming up with the COK 2010, we had particular issues that we wanted to address, which were well addressed in the Constitution. Then secondly, when we bring in the BBI, there is an issue that we have established that is not okay sitting with the current Constitution. Then what now do we need to look at and establish as the main problem? Because if we keep on correcting document after document, then it means there is a problem that we are overseeing, or rather we are not seeing, we are undervaluing. And I think the main problem in this case should be either something to do with our education system. When Dr. was speaking, he mentioned about civic education. You have seen current generation has lost interest in political leadership. And of course, in every other country, politics is basically the resource allocation matrix. So if the generation is less interested, what kills that interest? We have seen the CBC come into play. But if you're keen and if you have a kid in school, you realize whatever they study in school today has nothing to do with their current livelihoods. They have nothing to do with their future in regard to political alignment or political leadership or integrity and stuff like that. So already I can tell we are already bringing up a generation that is going to be worse than we have today. Because if you look again at what we call role models, who are the role models of the day? Even as we debate on the BBI today, the reason why at times we miss the point under BBI is because the role models who at times would want us to say no or to say yes, like in this case, many are there who want us to say no. But look at them. Are they role models of the society? Now, if you tell me somebody like Sudi should be your role model, what does that tell you about our kid who's supposed to be in school, awaiting graduation and looking forward to become a graduate? If Sudi made it without going through school and he's a role model today, why would I bother going to school? So I would actually be failing to support the BBI simply because my role model did not go to school. He made it in life. He's now a billionaire. He owns a mansion that everybody would wish to have. I'm sure many of us in this show do not have what Sudi has. So those are the kind of people we are bringing up. Secondly, the third point I would want to look at, we have the monster in the house, which in this case is corruption. I love what the BBI talks about in regard to corruption. And it tries to make it better than it is from the previous, from the current constitution. But then again, even if we still do another write-up in regard to corruption, but we fail to really push through the previous one under the COK 2010, then it means it might remain just a talk. I think we need to now sit as people concerned about this country and discuss the clause under integrity and corruption in this country. We must seriously make it so severe that anybody who even thinks about it can be prosecuted. Thank you.
And that will
Thank
be
you very much. I think in summary, we don't have much time. One, the point that engineer was telling me to clarify. Look, we are all sucked into a very big war of ignorance. The children that we are taking to school every morning, Miriam, are learning how Sonko was dancing party after party. Honestly, ask your child that you have just dropped at school. When he comes back, any of you, and say, what did you learn? He said, Daddy, I learned party after party. For us, when we grew up, and that's why I support Magoha, on caning. On caning. Why Matanga today is like this, as you see my eyes. I was caned. I was very poor at mathematics. Very poor man at mathematics. Very, very poor. And any time I come in, the teacher had prepared a stick very early in the morning. This quick mental work, I failed. I could fail mental work like a hair. 10 plus 10, 20, multiply this, that. And you know what? Welcome, you put these fingers. Look here, here. Put them on the desk. So you go back to study and I say, tomorrow, there is no failing mental work in the morning. And those classes were compulsory. We enter the class at 8. The first 15 minutes is mental work. 200 divided by 4. Finish. 10 questions. If you fail 10, put your fingers, 10 of them here. And the teacher used to come, a nice, well-organized. Did you know that during our school days, we used to go and collect the best sticks for the teachers. And they were in the classroom. The monitor, our monitor, must make sure there is always a stick, a new one, to hammer. If you tell Karanja that today, have you seen the way Karanja is saying, Kiddy will do not come to school. Kiddy will go to court to inject you, to do an injection. Because there is somebody beating a child. These children we are growing today have copied party after party behavior. we don't have any education. 2, someone talked about the Constitution. Engineer talked about what can we do. Constitutions are a document that are dynamic. It changes every time. You can change it according to what you feel. So anybody reasoning that we have got a good constitution, there's no good constitution in the world. Show me. Show me. Show me in the world where people don't fight. I want the studio, before it go to the next motion, to listen to the video. There's that video from Ukraine. Sindio Ruto is introducing the politics of Williban. Bring that one. Stephen, bring. That is Ukraine. You remember Ukraine came as a regime change. You remember? The type of MPs we have in Ukraine are George Soros MPs. That is the Kenya that Susan Kihika, your senator in Nakuru, was calling for. Come and help us, regime change. Bring that video and you see. You will see.
Two members of the Ukrainian parliament got into this fistfight outside the parliament chambers in Kiev on Thursday, leaving one with a bloody nose. The Self-Reliance Party deputy, Yegor Sobolov, and the Fatherland Party deputy, Vadim Ichenko, had to be pulled apart by guards as they continued to throw punches at each other. It's reported that the fight, which was captured by Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty cameras, was over a corruption bill. The Parliamentary Committee has now recommended to suspend both deputies from participating in Parliament sessions for 5 days.
Viewers, this is in Ukraine, where the first regime yellow revolution, the orange revolution took place. You look at the type of MPs we have grown now, who are hammering each other, and the police, by the way, everybody in Ukraine is trained militarily. There's nobody you can slap and you go without having given a kung fu. They are all trained guys. So look at the way they are fighting in front of the police, and the policeman came in to separate them after seeing one of them was going to injure the other. So if this is the type of democracy, there is a saying in Kikuyu, and those who are Kikuyu or any African proverb will agree with me that first, fly with something you have swallowed. You have to fly with something you have swallowed. Can you go back to pick something when this one is in the stomach? Fly with what you have. Then come back. There's a Kikuyu saying, I don't know how you can say it in Guinea and Karanja in Kikuyu. You fly with these things. With what is in your stomach. Yes, you don't wait for 2022 when Ruto might not be there. Don't wait for Ruto. This is Ndindi Nyoro you are talking about. The last money that Ndindi Nyoro got the certificate was from Dr. David Matanga. 10,000 shillings from my sweat, not corrupt money. He asked me for 10,000 shillings to go and deposit. They were demanding, there was a balance before he gets that certificate. I swear in the name of God. Ndindi Nyoro was as poor as a church mouse that actually looks while the bishop is counting the money. Have you ever seen the bishop counting money with anybody? Have you seen, do you know why churches were built with a bigger roof ceiling?
Tell us.
The history of churches in London is a bigger ceiling. They believe there is an angel ahead of you, seeing you. And the mouse is an angel. Is the one that runs to tell the angel is stealing something. He's taking something there. That's why the roof of churches, why do you think the roof of churches cannot be like this? Do you know what is inside there? I am an assistant warden of my church in New Addington, down in New Addington, St. Mary's. It was built in 1864. But when I asked about the ceiling, one day when we were cleaning, we said, let's open and go upstairs. The bishop said, no. So up to today, I don't know what's upstairs in the church. Now, later on, I discovered it is where these offertory things are kept. You have never seen a safe. Have you ever seen a safe in a church? Maybe the current churches of Bishop, what this man here, there are several bishops that have built a big safe in their churches. Because a big safe expects money to come in. So Miriam, I don't want to waste much of the time. Look, most of the people like Ndindi Nyoro, and Gatia was right. Garanja was right. Kidi was right, and my friend here, the younger man. These guys were just, Ruto was a smart operator. While for us, we are on national politics. The guy went to plant his cronies. You see? He planted cronies everywhere. In Nakuru, I believe engineer tried to stand for one seat. I am sure you tried somewhere. I saw you in one of the nomination papers. This process. You were knocked out even before you even, because they had already lined whom they want. So this is something that we must learn. Thank you very much, Miriam. That ends the debate of the BBI. We shall look at it next week. The reasons why BBI is important. From Monday, we shall look at the reasons one by one, educating the people, and I will send you all copies. All of you, I will send copies so that you see, not copies of BBI, the real subject for the week, one by one, so that you are abreast of what we are talking. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So now let's get into our next topic under Kenya, and that is expulsion of senators, and the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal has suspended the decision to expel some Jubilee-nominated senators. They are Isaac Mwaura, Mary Senator Falhada Deko Iman, Naomi Jilowako, Victor Prengei, and Millicent Omanga. The leaders were asked on Monday over what the party called disciplinary violations. And before we get into the conversation, I'd like for us to take a look at a video that Senator Mutula Kilonzo some remarks he was making in regards to that matter on the Senate floor a couple of days ago.
How stable we are. It's not like we don't have our share of problems, but we know how to manage them. So please don't write letters or speak candidly to the press. Just find a way of how you handle your political party affairs in a better fashion. I don't think there is a way that Senator Cheruiyot is suggesting that political parties can be managed on the floor of the Senate. It is just not possible. Now, in other jurisdictions, in fact, the minute you vote against your political party decision, you are deemed to have defected. We are even better off, where you can disagree with your political party, form a political party within your political party, wear a t-shirt of another political party, and exist in that political party without defecting. It's only in Kenya where people can do that and walk around and say, well, I have the liberty to do so. We have abused the political party's rights of being in a political party under Article 38. Because if you disagree with your political party and ideals and your party leaders, it's also democracy to leave. But you can't be in both. You're in, you're out, you're in the middle, you are doing pamoja, you're in a wheelbarrow. It can't happen. It's just not possible. And it's not legal, and it's not moral, and it's not godly. Thank you.
Senator Linturi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker.
All right, quite interesting there. Senator Mutula Kilonzo, Chevan Karanja, form a political party within a political party. That is quite abnormal there. It does not happen in any jurisdiction. And that is according to Senator Mutula Kilonzo there.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we have seen things that are quite unfair. Indisciplined people in this Jubilee party. And I think this the Jubilee party, from the handshake, and I think this is where the Deputy President came out and shown his true colors in terms of Jubilee affairs. When he gone with members, the people, the cronies he planted in the 2017 general Jubilee nominations, and they formed the outfit termed as Tanga Tanga. Today, these are the same people who are not respecting the Jubilee party agenda. We have seen them in the floor of the Senate, in the floor of the National Assembly, going contrary to the opinion or to the party standing, and they go and vote contrary to that. We have seen them today championing an agenda of a Hasra's narrative. We have seen them today championing an agenda of the UDA party, a party that does not subscribe or is not working in coalition or in partnership with the Jubilee party. Therefore, I think the Jubilee party leadership should raise into speed and ensure that these people, especially the nominated senators, the nominated members of parliament, they are disciplined. They are shown the door, because you cannot be in a party that sponsors you to represent special interest. You know, for example, Isaac Mwaura is nominated by Jubilee in the Senate to represent the people living with a disability, but we have not seen him taking any good registrations that can better the livelihoods of the people living with a disability. What he is doing today, he is going around insulting the president, insulting the family of the president, belittling the head of state, and nothing much is happening. Therefore, it is high time the Jubilee leadership deals with these people. And if they feel, and I don't know the kind of party leaders we have in this country in terms of integrity. These people, you know very well, you are championing an agenda of the UDA party. But when asked to account for your deeds, when asked to resign or to go and continue working in that UDA party, you still insist that you want to remain in Jubilee. These people, they want to eat in both corners. You want to eat in UDA, you want to remain in Jubilee. Those things don't happen. You cook one pot at a time. You cook one meal at a time. You can't mix these things up. That is why today we have seen people, and you see in Jubilee, I think as a party, and Atwoli was asking the president, which is this party, a member of Senate, writes you letters telling you things, and he can reach out to you. Therefore, I think something is not well in Jubilee, and it is high time that these people are shown the door. Not only these people, we have seen even the deputy president. He goes around in occasions, in events. Today he is in Kiambu, event called Hasora Empowerment. What is Hasora Empowerment? Part of Jubilee agenda. And when he goes there, he demands to be given security, he demands to be protected by the state, but he is going there to sabotage, to belittle the head of state, to belittle the government of the day. I think the government also should deal with these defiant members and should be shown that you cannot be taking salaries from Jubilee. And yesterday, they were telling the party to channel 50% of their salary to the UDA party. It's bad, Miriam. It's so bad.
10%.
Jubilee should deal with them. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Engineer Victor Ngatia, we've seen what has been happening there in Jubilee Party and the indiscipline that has permeated, not just in Jubilee Party, but across a lot of parties in our country. But specifically what is happening right now in Jubilee Party, as Senator Mutula there was saying, you have formed a political party within a political party, and they cannot deny this because we see it in the media. And the other day they've written to Parliament and they've told them to be, the money that was going towards Jubilee, the 10,000 per month should not be going to formation of to support of the new party, and yet they still want to accrue the benefits that comes from them being in Jubilee Party, and yet they're supporting the UDA party there. It's out of order.
I agree totally, Miriam, with you. And just like Javan was saying, I think Jubilee needs to think twice on how they are dealing with these issues. First of all, I don't understand where this mediocrity of thinking we are better than the law, like everything that we want want to address, whether it's in Parliament, whether it's in the Senate, they always look at themselves as better than the law. So they're better off, they're more educated than the law, they're smarter than the law, they can, go around the law as they wish, and they will still win. I'll give many examples. The MPs, the moment they got just before the elections, Sarah Serem came up with a new, schedule on how the salaries would be given or divided. But the moment these guys got into the office, they thought Serem was mad. They actually told her, you know what, we'll kick you out of the office. So that tendency is manifested in each and everything that we do. I just talked to you about the CRA report. The moment it got to the Senate, they thought they were better than the people who did the research and who had done the analysis to actually water down the report. Now, the same thing has been factored in by another guru who believes that the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote should be part of the BBI in the BBI. Then these guys come and say, no, it's not the right thing. We should not have this. The resources are not well done. But back to the issue. What really ails Jubilee? I mean, what does the law say? Because again, let's not be smarter than the law. The law states very clearly, even if you just wear a t-shirt that says you now joined the other party. If you say no to what is passed in your party, if you disagree with your party, you're basically not with them. You're not in that party. If you stand up and now direct your funds to be directed to another party, you have actually defected from your own party. But what stops us from nailing it? This is the law. This is what it says. There is this fear of acting. Now I hear they have reversed the decision to expel the senators. I mean, why are they doing this? They are killing their own party. To be very honest, even the MPs who actually, I think, signed a document about a week ago, about 41 of them or 42 of them, and said that they're not going to agree with the president with the BBI, I think they should be expelled. This fear has been pushed through the throat of our president, that if you fire these people, you will actually maybe lose your seat. Who said we cannot form another coalition government with the ODM? We can speak to Kano. Let's form another coalition. But at the end of the day, we cannot have people holding the party at ransom and pushing for their agenda. They will not support the party. They will not, support the legacy that the president wants. We are not doing any construction at the moment. We are debating the BBI. The BBI is a document that nobody should say no to. No matter what reservations we may have about the BBI, to be very honest, there is a resource that is going to trickle down. More that it is going to be in writing. So why should we say no? When we talk about representation, we have people who are representing 10,000 people in parliament. Why would it be such an issue when we're talking of people who are representing about 400,000 people in one constituency? You're getting 100 million worth of a CDF, only to distribute among 10,000 or 100,000. What about those people who have 3,000, 300,000? Those things must be the subject of discussion. These people don't have to discuss that. And it's a mess. I think the Jubilee should come out, act on the guys. This reversal of decisions every time and then, we should not be a threatening party. We are not here to threaten people so they toe the line. It is actually acting. If you mess, you mess. If you step out, listen, you step out, you chose that decision. You stood with the Jubilee, we supported you, we got you into office, you're now with us. You are working with us. But when you decide otherwise, you go out. Don't take me to a tribunal to, I don't know what, right? And again, I wonder, what laws are these tribunals looking at? Because if the law talks about expel this guy, he actually defected. What are they telling us? That these people were right? Are they trying to tell us that every other party, what if UDA today is suffering the same? Would UDA support those guys to stay within? They will be kicked out even before they utter their last word. But in Jubilee, they will keep on doing it simply because we have no guts to kick them out. We are scared. Scared of what?
Very good question.
I need action, personally.
Engineer, thank you so much.
Can I give ammunition to the two younger gentlemen, especially Kitty and thank you very much, Victor, and him as they come in to finish this subject. The tribunal is owned by Ruto.
How unfortunate.
Just as the public procurement, you remember the public procurement committee was owned by Ruto with the lawyer Gicheru. Can you link something, especially Kidi and Kirimi link something. Gicheru, the ICC fixer, witness fixer, key destroyer. You know, we talk the truth. He destroyed many people. And he is not going to go free. Was the chairman of the procurement board. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Ah, yes. The chairman was the chairman of the procurement. Corruption was there. Every tender in this world arrives in Mr. Gicheru's hands. Then Mr. Gicheru tells DP Ruto that some Chinese have arrived. Boss, do investigative journalism. They have arrived, they are here. Then these Chinese are kept in Intercontinental Hotel formally. Very early in the morning with suits, perfumes everywhere. You know, unfortunately, the Chinese don't have perfume. You know? They well organized, and with each one has a briefcase loaded with dollars, and with a man called Steiner. He's my friend, and I tell the truth. If he wants, he can sue me. Because I have a video of him telling me exactly, I'm taking these people to the DP, wait for me here, I'm coming back. And I will bring something for you from the deal. Look, Gicheru was a conduit of corruption in the public procurement board. Jubilee made the mistake to appoint in the tribunal of political, it is only the political parties which has a good person. The law is very clear. Article 38 is very clear. I want you to read Article 38 of your constitution. It's here. I carried it to my desk. I moved with it in my special briefcase, which has those documents where Museveni and others are supposed to appear alongside the coin. Do you know that? That's another news next week. So read this constitution, Article 38. You will tell me what it is. It is very clear on once you change the color, even the color alone, and it defines you with a color, and you are wearing yellow. You are with Mr. Mudama. And it talks about every person has freedom. Every citizen has freedom. But that freedom is curtailed and regulated by guidelines. You can't have freedom to walk over people's bodies, to walk over people's heads and tell people, line up, I walk on your head and I jump over the river. No, that's not freedom. It's you have to respect the other people and tell them to give way and you walk at the pass. So Mutula Kilonzo was very correct. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to bring in this party because Victor has touched something very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Why should the tribunal take us east-west? Isaac Mwaura is nominated by the party. And not elected, nominated by the party. He has no right, whether you can appeal to God, to Jesus, you live. The party does not have any trust in you. In this one, the constitution gives the party the mandate. It doesn't give you, the nominated senator, to go and keep us in court. That Vincent Omang, is it Vincent or Vincent? Millicent, sijui jina gani hiyo. That one there, hiyo. The wife of concubine of Mr. X. Yeye mnagopa kusema. We are fed up with this guy. Tutaambiana ukweli haki ya Mungu. This one goes on disrupting everything Uhuru Kenyatta does. She hates Uhuru Kenyatta. Yet it is Uhuru Kenyatta, the party leader. She insults Uhuru Kenyatta everywhere. as if she has better children than Uhuru Kenyatta. Uko na watoto wako wanashinda wale wa Uhuru Kenyatta. Watoto yetu wote wako watoto. Don't despise others. Uhuru Kenyatta's children are the same as Millicent Omanga's children. So why should he be insulted? Because he's a president. He's not going to come down and have a tit to tat with you. We have to protect the president. But the deputy president is the one leading us to insult the president. Not small, not big, not middle, huge. And in fact, when they start insulting the president, have you seen how the teeth of the deputy president appears? Quite open. He's laughing and clapping like this. This is your boss. Me, if I'm being insulted and I'm here, I'm hiding in the curtain and I hear Kirimi is also laughing, I tell Kirimi, don't come on this TV. Eh? I've heard you are insulting me. So the president and the party must take action. I agree with Victor. We must take action. Whether the party remains with only officials, fine. But discipline must take place. Discipline must take place. Let there be few members left. You think there are no people who love Uhuru Kenyatta who can replace those parties? There are millions. Uhuru Kenyatta has not gone out to campaign. That's why Ruto is having a sailing through. Wacha Uhuru Kenyatta simame na helicopter aanze kutembea nchi. Mtajua. Mtaona.
Okay.
And I'm telling you frankly, BBI will pass.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Signal there has hanged, and so better. Douglas, what our engineer has said there about what kind of laws is guiding the political parties' disputes tribunal, because they should be guided by the same laws that made Jubilee expel these senators. So what is really happening there? And also, he spoke about the fear of acting that is within Jubilee Party.
Thank you, Miriam. People in this country and also even outside this country should understand that the rule of law is rule of law, and there is no substitution for the law. We cannot be able to add or subtract on what is law. What is law is this: if you disrespect your political party, you should be shown the door, no matter who you are. At the end of the day, you don't serve because you want to serve. You serve because your political party gave you a platform. Your political party elevated you. The reason why these people did not go to ODM, especially those come from central Kenya where the president comes from, is that when they went to ODM, they would not, if they had gone to ODM, they would not have been elected on these platforms. And we need to tell each other the truth. We serve at the behest of our political parties. We serve under the mercy of our political parties, especially in Africa. And in Africa, political parties are associated with people, individuals. There's no one that ran in Mount Kenya region in Jubilee Party without the picture of President Uhuru Kenyatta as if he is their wife or their husband, behind them or below them or opposite them. These people and to agree with the wins and also the qualms of the Jubilee Party that is run by President Uhuru Kenyatta. These people have continued destroying Jubilee Party by insulting the president and also, again, at the same time, enjoying the party's mechanisms that have been put in place, the Jubilee Manifesto that is being implemented across the nation. I have seen even MCAs that oppose Jubilee Party who are elected on Jubilee Party continue celebrating the development that comes with the Jubilee Party. If the CS of Interior comes into your ward and also brings new police stations, county commissioners and the police and everything, you celebrate and keep saying that the way you are working. But the next day you are accusing the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta of not delivering. Not delivering what exactly? We need to be able to bring back discipline in our political parties. In Tanzania, Chama cha Mapinduzi, they are doing it. In Museveni, the NRM are doing it. Everywhere parties are doing this. In the US, if you disagree with what Joe Biden is doing and the Democratic Party, you resign from that party. You either join Parliament, Congress as an independent, or you go to the other party, the Republican.
Mm-hmm.
These minor disagreements that people have within the party and file and rank of the party are solved within the party. But what we are seeing is outright arrogance and political advantage that is being created by Deputy President William Ruto and his surrogates to continue undermining the party that sponsored them to parliament. These people have undermined the role. These people have taken hostage the Jubilee Party. They continue destroying the party. They continue projecting a message that is weak in concept and also weak in presentation, that delimits the party, Jubilee Party, from exercising its own mandate over its own members that is sponsored to parliament. These are people that should be struck off the party register as members deregistered and also struck and also excommunicated from the party so that they can continue and go and find parties that engender their plans and also that provide room for their vision. If Jubilee Party of Kenya today does not serve your purpose as a member of parliament, as a senator or an MC or deputy president, you go and join another party. And this issue of asking for Jubilee Party to give 50% of your contributions to the United Democratic Alliance, it is out of order and out of question. It is something of outright arrogance to the party that sponsored you to parliament. You have filled your obligation to the party and you have subscribed to another party. The law is the law. The rule of law has to take effect whether it is an MCA, whether it's a senator, whether nominated or voted under the Jubilee banner. The law of the party should, the law of the land should take precedence against our qualms and whims as a people, as members of the parties, as nominated members of parliament, senators and MCAs, and even the deputy president, or even the president himself. The president of the Republic of Kenya also, as a party leader, is bound under the constitution of Jubilee Party to abide under the law of Jubilee Party. And whatever the president does, including the engagement with other parties, including ODM and BBI, what is the mandate of the leader of Jubilee Party? I have read the Jubilee Party constitution. These people should be struck out of the party and should be sent away, and there should be no remorse about it. The rule of law has to apply, whether we like it or not, whether we feel like or not. The law is law.
Okay, thank you.
The law has to serve its purpose, whether people have now shifted their attention to Unda Party or Jubilee Party. If you shift your attention from Jubilee Party, you can go to Unda Party and subscribe to their roles, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Kidibi, know that, they try to draw parallel with the handshake that President Uhuru Kenyatta had with the opposition leader Raila Odinga, and saying if you are engaging with another party, then we also have a right to engage and to form. But then they went ahead even forming a party within a Jubilee Party. But what we know, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has made it very clear, and the opposition leader has made it clear, and other opposition leaders, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Wetangula, who are working together to chart their own political future, and they've made it clear that they're coming together and agreeing to work together had nothing to do with supporting a party, but had everything to do with bettering and fostering peace and unity in this country. So had nothing to do with party politics or personal agenda or personal ambitions, as we've seen. And President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga especially, they've made that categorical, that my relationship with President Uhuru Kenyatta, you'll hear Raila Odinga say time and time again, has nothing to do with my ambition in 2022. And every time he's called it, even in front of the president himself, and he said, you know what, you people have you have a big four agenda that you promised to Kenyans. Can you ensure that you work on that? Because that is not ODM's problem or the opposition problem, because you have work to do for Kenyans as the leadership in this country and as the government. And so that has been very clear. But we've seen the DP and his side, they try to hang on or peg on their argument as to why now they're working with other parties, and now they form another party with a drawing parallel with that working relationship that President Uhuru Kenyatta has with the opposition. But are we able to draw parallels and find similarity in these two relationships here? And also the fear of acting that has plagued the Jubilee Party there. What do you have to say to that? And perhaps you could start by commenting on that, those remarks by Senator Mutula Kilonzo Kidi.
Thank you. Miriam, political hygiene demands that if you disagree with the position of a political party, that you disassociate yourself from it, both in form and substance. And therefore, the members of the Jubilee coalition, of the Jubilee Party, who are propagating the views of UDA, but still want to cling within Jubilee, are folks who want to eat their cake, to have their cake and eat it, which is impossible. In established democracies, if and when you disagree with a political party, the honorable thing is you disassociate yourself. The tragedy is that these people are learning from the bad manners that have been perpetuated in the past, where people disagree with the political party, but then they hang on until the last minute, and in part using the legal channels not to achieve justice, but to frustrate, ensuring that we have a sane and clean political environment. A case in point is that right now, it is clear that these 5 senators have decamped from Jubilee, that they are not supporting Jubilee, that they are not supporting the president, who is the leader of that party. But then that they go before the political parties tribunal, and the tribunal issues restraining orders against Jubilee on the basis that until the matter is heard and determined. The question is, what was making it difficult for the political parties tribunal to expeditiously set a date so that these matters are canvassed very fast, the counsel for the party and the counsel for the senators to appear before it and then hear the matter and determine it? Because the Constitution anticipates that justice shall be rendered without undue delay. When you injunct the party and force the party to have members who are no longer working for its good and making those senators to be beneficiaries of impunity, it goes ahead to toxify the political environment. Further and significantly is that there is I want to speak about state capture. State capture has gotten itself even into the institutions that should be serving this country. Because, for instance, we know how Aisha Jumwa got her orders against ODM, because we know who are our godfathers, and we know people who are at the political parties tribunal, dispute tribunal, so that we must, going forward, and even as we get into the appointment of the Chief Justice and the justices to the Supreme Court, we must now learn to delink political stimuli from such appointment processes, because in so doing, we can then inspire hope that such institutions would therefore be able to discharge their mandate without tampering to the whims of the whims of the political stimuli. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Doctor, do you have anything that you'd like to add there before we move to another topic? All right. I think Doctor is not able to respond now, but once he's able, then he will he will come and he'll continue. And you know what, our time is really gone. We are 2 hours in. We're supposed to be ending, but we have a couple of topics here that we have to look at before we conclude. And so I'll take us to the case. What is it? to the ICC, the new prosecutor. They're looking for the new prosecutor, and a new chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court could be named in the next few days, but the process of finding successor to Fatou Bensouda, somebody capable of prosecuting the world's worst war criminals and investigating cases of genocide, has been rife with obstacles. Gambian lawyer Bensouda's mandate ends on June 15th, and the search for a successor began in August 2019, but a meeting last December of the United Nations Assembly of States Parties, which oversees the ICC's work, came and went without an agreement, and a new effort on Monday likewise told on as objections were raised against the frontrunner Britain's Karim Khan. Now a new Assembly of States Party meeting is set for Friday in New York, with the election high on its agenda. So there are a couple of people who are running and who are looking to fill the position of Fatou Bensouda, and the list of candidates of the job has fluctuated over the past year, and it started with 14, and right now there are only 4 people leading the pack is Karim Khan. I think we are very much aware, and we know this gentleman ahead of Fergo Gaynor of Ireland, Carlos Castañeda of Spain, Francesco Lovoy of Italy, and that is according to the reports there. So, of course, Khan right now helped prosecute cases of the International Criminal Tribunals for the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda, and is currently a special advisor to the United Nations investigating ISIL crimes. Gaynor has worked with special courts prosecuting rogue criminals and war crimes in Kosovo. Castañeda helped bring charges against Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, and while Lovoy is the chief prosecutor in Palermo, Sicily, where he leads the anti-mafia unit. And we really don't have a she's from Africa, and so Africa had a lead on that, so now they're looking for somebody else there. So what are we likely to see? Who are we likely to see replace Fatou Bensouda in this new position? Engineer Victor.
Unmute.
Don't worry, I'll get into the rhythm with time. So,
it's okay,
so I'll say,
understand. Yes.
I'll say,
yes.
I haven't really gotten myself so much into detail.
Into the ICC.
Informed with the
yes.
with the ICC issue.
Yes.
Just like Masa Daktari started, ni mwaka wa kuambiana ukweli.
Yes.
So I wouldn't want to dominate and give false information on this.
All right.
In as much as I know, in as much as I know, the court from my background, I'm not very comfortable with how it has been going, but I'm hoping once I get into it, I will understand better and maybe something good will look out of it. But for now, I'm not very comfortable with it.
But would you say Fatou Bensouda did a good job as a chief prosecutor, and you could go by judging how she handled the Kenyan cases?
Well, let me say no comment for now. Really, no comment.
All right, I'll respect that. Okay, you're the legal mind around here. What
Yes.
should we look forward to? In the new chief prosecutor, and Karim Khan. We are all familiar with him, as due to his involvement in the Kenyan cases. So, what are we likely to see there happen?
Well, I think that Karim Khan will have to declare any possible conflict of interest between his position as OTP and his previous position and work as a defense counsel to a number of these clients before this court. Because, for instance, the Kenyan case, his client was not discharged by the court. But because of the prevailing situation, the case was made difficult to proceed. And therefore, the then OTP, in her wisdom, decided to temporarily suspend the matter until such a time when she would be able to possibly have evidence, or when there would be a prevailing conducive environment for her to proceed. Because this person happens to be because the new OTP was the counsel, actually the lead counsel for one of the Kenyan suspects. It therefore is incumbent upon him to declare any conflict of interest, because this ICC has been a tool that has helped reduce the number of political violence, especially meted by those in positions of power against civilians. And therefore, going forward, we want to see an ICC that is not compromised, both substantively and also procedurally. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Javen, how would you say, Fatou Bensouda, how would you rate her workings there as the chief prosecutor? Of course, her term is coming to an end on the 15th of June. And what should we look forward to for, in the next chief prosecutor at the International Criminal Court?
Miriam, thanks for that question. One thing that we look up to is we look for better days every day. We want somebody who can do better than their predecessors or somebody who was there before them. And I wish the one who will succeed, Fatou Bensouda, will do much better than what Bensouda have achieved. And we want somebody who will not be biased in matters of African continent, somebody who will give fair rulings in the entire world for those men. The treaty that holds the people to the Hague. I want somebody who will treat Africans with dignity and will be fair and enough to ensure that justice is delivered to all people, regardless of where they came from. We have seen a lot of people complain of Bensouda that she was biased in one way or the other when it comes to Africa affairs. And I don't know, but we have a problem. If an African can guarantee us the freedom or a fair ground, then as a people, we need to wake up and start looking at Africa where we can all be champion for a better Africa. And I think going on, Miriam, we need also to have a court in Africa, like the AU. We have our own court that can deal with affairs of Africa before we go to ICC. If a country is unable to deal with the case or a crime against humanity in their country, we have a court, a bigger court, a continental court in Africa that can first deal with our issues before we head to ICC. I think by doing so, we'll be able to guarantee ourselves a bit dignity or a bit fairness, because we may deal with our issues better than when they are dealt with from an outside country that is outside our continent. Because at the end of the day, the Europeans, the whites will have a bigger say, a bigger chunk of the leadership or management of the courts when it comes to matter its leadership and how it operates. Therefore, it's high time that we Africans, we look for alternative. I'm not saying that we come out of the treaty or of ICC or the agreement, but we look for alternative to solve our disputes before we head to ICC. Thank you.
All right, very well, Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. And also, I think for me, I would rate Fatou Bensouda very badly for her performance at ICC. Because, for example, the Kenyan cases from the Ocampo time and also to the Fatou Bensouda time, these were one of the most bungled cases because of what Ocampo did in his time as a prosecutor, and also later on what the other prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda, did. I think from my perspective is that I was not very satisfied with the way Kenyan cases were carried out. Fatou Bensouda as a prosecutor at ICC should have gone back to the cases and also probed it back so that she can be able to bring to book the real perpetrators of the post-election violence in Kenya, because the ghost of the post-election violence in this country lands around us, and also as they continue racking around the country, we still have the fresh memories in this country, and we have people hiding in foreign capitals waiting to give evidence on what they know. We have witnesses for the ICC that died, and also we have people who coached witnesses to ICC who saw the witnesses at 2000 and they confessed on national television. Fatou Bensouda tells me and tells the world that she has been unable to go for Moses Kurias of this world, Kimani Ngujiris of this world, so that they can continue insulting the president, so that they can continue mismatching people around this country, when we know very clearly that these people ride to ICC, they sold the people. Also, normal of Mombasa, I have a beef with these people who went and coached witnesses and sold them to ICC, gave fake evidence against President Uhuru Kenyatta. And these people continued supporting and also providing fake witnesses and all that for the Bangladesh process on the Kenyan ICC cases. I think that I will not forgive Fatou Bensouda, and also for the cases in Uganda. We have seen what Dominic Ongwen case has gone, and it has happened also under the tenure of Fatou Bensouda. We have also seen other cases across Africa where they have not been able to take action against perpetrators of crimes against humanity, and also rape, murder, and also displacement of people. All these cases, Miriam, should have been probed under tenure. And I think she would have performed better if she went for the real perpetrators of these crimes and took the real suspects to ICC and brought them to book, Miriam. But for benefit of doubt, I have nothing against her, but I'm not comfortable with the way she handled the Kenyan cases and every other case, because we have the corrupt Ocampo who has continued who gave the evidence that Fatou Bensouda built on and continued building on false evidence, and that made ICC a very fake court that has been made to victimize a few people. And I continue on my line that my performance and what I think about it is on the very negative, Miriam.
Okay. All right. Doctor, you're back. Yes, welcome back. So we're looking at the ICC, and of course right now they're looking for a new chief prosecutor who will replace Fatou Bensouda, whose term comes to the end on the 15th of June this year.
Thank you very much, Miriam. The show on Friday ends at 1. So all the time ends at 1. So we still have some time, about 50 minutes or so, or 49 minutes. It doesn't end at 12. That one I needed to, so that the panel should not hurry. We end at 1 on Friday. That's it. Because we don't do the morning show at 10, at 9. So there's still some time. 2, while I was on air, an uncoordinated movement of troops happened. And wherever I am, I touched the button of the system and to switch me off. That's why when you were calling, I was only seeing you from my other phone, but not on the system. However, you have already left one subject called the impeachment, which we did not touch, but there is time to touch it. Let me come on the subject you are brought on table. I'm an expert on this. And I had the engineer Victor saying he doesn't want to go to that. I'm an expert, and I will tell the truth. Both Gaina and you see, it is the Kenya media, which is stupid, very shallow. I'm sorry, newspapers in Kenya are the shallowest editors. I don't know why. I don't know why people went to school. You know, analyze events. Both Khan and Gaina are interested parties. You get my point? Kiddy, where are you? You touched this issue and you started sweeping it on the top.
I am a lawyer.
You're a lawyer, you tell people what you know. You studied international law.
Yes.
You did not study law of conveyance of buildings. Hello?
Yes,
Both Khan, let me teach you once for all. Khan and Gaina are interested parties in the cases that were not terminated. Remember, the case of Ruto was
suspended.
They said they did not think, but if they have, the case is ended with if, that when they get new evidence, they will be back. So up to now, we have not been told whether they have not got new evidence or whether they have no evidence and when they will come back. Therefore, you cannot take one leading defense counsel, very good, to go into the OTP office. And I want to tell you that the man taking this slot is a Spaniard. If you did not know. Let Kenyans know me. You do. I have done every intelligence behind the scenes. I know who is pushing Karim Khan. We know how much money has been running around. Use a corrupt method thinking they can buy international, you can't. Karim Khan is a defense lawyer of Uhuru, of William Samoei Ruto. Gaina is a defense lawyer of the victim's lawyer, not a defense lawyer, a victim's lawyer in Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's case, number 2 of situation of Kenya of 2010, 2009, when it was referred to the the chambers. It is a situation of 2009, both of them. Therefore, it calls the first thing that these people wanted, because of COVID-19, they wanted to bring the chief prosecutor under the cover of COVID-19. And many of you on this panel know I am the one who petitioned. And these are things that we should tell, like you people should tell, Miriam should tell the background of these cases. I petitioned the Assembly of State Parties in black and white, single-handedly, and I said, no, there is no way you are going to bring Mr. Gaina. And I put 48 serious grounds why Mr. Gaina should not be the chief prosecutor of International Criminal Court, including abuse, sexually abusing boys on Gongo Road in a house which I attached. He actually had sex with boys, witness boys. He had sex, not with women, but with boys, against their will. When the president of the court saw this document, the president said, this thing cannot, I think, and the complaints, who is pushing for Gaina to be put on? It is George Soros. Because if George Soros, Fatou Bensouda, and Ocampo, they want Mr. Gaina to be the chief prosecutor in order to cover them of their bad deeds. I joined the group called Human Rights Watch. I called them, the executive director of Human Rights Watch. She helped me in Uganda situation a long time ago. I called her and we discussed. I said, back me up. She backed me up. We molested this ASP from July, August, September, October, November. We molested them. When I sabu, nasi tunaisabu. When I sabu, nasi tunaisabu. Until the thing collapsed. Now they said, no, we can deal with this matter in January in the New York offices. We did not keep quiet. Some of us continued to monitor what was happening in New York offices. I suggested to them, if you want, bring a whole list of all the people who applied for this post. My suggestion was taken by the ASP. It was agreed that all the 13 contestants, out of 13, choose 9, where Mr. Khan now comes in. Mr. Khan was brought on the second thought of Mathanga's argument, not because Khan qualified. Khan qualified because of my argument, my petition, not because of the books he read in this small university in London. Because he didn't go to a good university. He was lucky. You know? When you are in London, talk about the university you have been. You have smelled its corridors. You know, see, we are still in a capitalistic state. Not yenye ya horibaros. Yeah, London, sindio tunazungumza ukweli. Kenya is fighting so hard to become a wheelbarrow state. While the Bazungu, where Adam Smith fought so hard, it defeats ambition against ambition. If you want to take Medium to Canterbury University, let her go. If Medium can have the marks to go to Oxford, aende. Usimwambie aende na wheelbarrow. Anaenda na kichwa yake. The tools of analysis is what it takes Medium to Canterbury or London School of Economics. It's not the money. Because in London, the government, if you have the brain, the government will give you a scholarship. Am I wrong in here?
No. You're very right.
They will give you a scholarship, straight. If this is there, sharp, utapata hata pesa zitakuja kwa mlango. So, in these circumstances, we have a problem here. Khan comes in the group of 9 people. But the two is the newspapers of Kenya that have created the problem by saying Ruto's lawyer is going to grab the seat. No! There is that question that Kid Mwaga brought. It is very important. It is your interest. What interest do they have in the case? Disqualifies them. If you are a chief prosecutor, will you continue with the Kenyan case or not?
Definitely not, I guess.
So if Khan becomes the chief prosecutor today, I've seen a lot of Ruto's people yapping, your usual yappers with no shoes. Yeah? And the ban wants them to have a wheelbarrow. If you can't buy sandals, you want to buy a wheelbarrow. Utatembea na wheelbarrow wapi? Acha maneno. Hii mambo ya wheelbarrow, muache kabisa. Eh? How can you have a wheelbarrow when there is no building to build, to use? Capitalists, the dynasties you are harassing, are the ones who build the building. You bring your wheelbarrow. Why? Can you use a wheelbarrow to build nothing? Where do you go to work? You work in a capitalist state. Ask all the people, the building where the government, where the annex, Arambe annex is, who is the owner? Is the capitalist. The building where Ruto sits and eats money every day is from a capitalist. Is it a wheelbarrow man? Sukuma you open up this space for campaigns, jamen. Musikie moto. Tuende rally, tusikie moto, tulete moto. Some people will run away from their wives. But because on a rally, tunaleta kila kitu. Kama wewe unaiba wabibi wa watu, tutakwambia hapo. Because if you are harassing people's women, unagonga kila mtu, tutakwambia kwa rally. We are not going to fear. Because you should not have all the women. Are you the only beautiful man? Or handsome? Na sisi tunataka. You can't hit all the women in Point Marina for you. Are you a horse? Na watu wanataka. So wachia watu. Let the other people also have a share. So let's open Mzee Kenyatta open the space. Wacha watu wararuane. And we get the BBI through. The BBI will be through. 34 to 37 counties will vote. When it is through, Ruto asimame. Why is Ruto fearing to say, I don't like Why is Ruto fearing to say, I oppose BBI? Why? If he thinks he has brain. Why? Muulize nyenye wa Kenya. Why is he waiting? You know Ruto might not even oppose this. Ruto might finally jump and leave this Tanga boys brigade mujahadini ya Tanga hii. This stupid one, Kimani Bahati, the one who was coaching witnesses, buying witnesses for Basuda in Nakuru. Huyu mchinga hii. Awa chinga yote. What? Eh? These are the people harassing Uhuru Kenyatta. Because Uhuru Kenyatta grew up in a decent home. He did not grow up in a home that insults people. If he had been with us who also worked under jiggers, pierced our food, haki ya Mungu, mimi, I would have already arrested all of them. Yes. If I was in power, they would be inside. These people don't fit to run an errand of a political meeting anywhere. And I'm very impressed by the president saying there is no impeachment. But the president told you he is the head of this government. Don't worry about impeachment. You see why do people need impeachment? Did you know why they need impeachment? We want to read all the crimes. And the Savula will bring the impeachment for the sake of reading the crimes. You know, when impeachment is there, the panel, they read, on this day, you stole 400 million. On this day, you took Kemeroro money. So we want to have that record. Forget about this headline of the Star saying it is a witch huddle. People are not interested in the real impeachment. People are interested in the full story for charging the suspect by courts of law. Because once these are tabled in the parliament, they become a question for the CID. Sindio? So you can see where the route where we are heading. Don't worry. Don't worry about impeachment. Don't worry. The ICC, the Spaniard, the Attorney General of Spain is most likely to become the new chief prosecutor, if they have not announced already. That's the truth. The two disqualified themselves. But because Kenyans like to tell lies on the newspaper, they wrote and said, Ruto's lawyer poised to take over ICC. Because the same lawyer has been telling the client that I need money to campaign for this post. $500,000. Give me to do mobilization. People want money. And unfortunately, the deputy president has never given some of us even coffee. When Ngatia saw me battling with so many things in America Hotel, you saw me, even some people wanted to throw me in the Kinako, you know.
Sorry, man.
Because they thought I was coming to spy on what they had done.
Yes.
You were at times there standing in for me.
Yeah, sure.
So, the whole thing of ICC having a chief prosecutor coming from the two is not available. Those two, the Spaniard and the other man, those are the most likely medium supposed to be the people on the list. Because the two will generate a lot of argument anyway. They were lawyers of the cases that are not complete. Vacation, the case was vacated. It's different from terminated. A mistrial is different from a judgment. These cases, Kidi will tell you, they were vacated. If they get new evidence, like a Gicheru now was there, and he has come back lying to people that he did not say, but we already know what he said. Some of us who have been following this institution and have ears on the ground there, we know what Gicheru said. In order for him to buy his bail, even to come back, he has fixed people, and it has to be known. So let's not sit here pretend and say, oh, there is an election in 2022. Wapi? Bado iko mapambano mbele. Mawingu iko kubwa sana. Until your name is on the ballot paper. Don't cheat God. Don't kid cheating. C-H-I-D-E. Isn't it? Cheat. Sindio hiyo? Kiingereza mzuri hiyo. You are cheating. Cheating God. Nasema nitakuwako wewe nani? Mungu Bwana anajua. Hii maneno iko mbaya. The mawingo, the clouds ahead are many. People are not interested in impeachment. Miriam, where you are aware, I told you they are not interested in impeachment. They just want to have the chronological events of the 21 accounts. Sergeant Kenyatta disappeared. Immediately when investigation for fake arms. Whose arms were those? The arms were coming for who? To kill who? Is there a war in Kenya? Is there a war in Kenya? Who was buying the arms? Is it Ekesa? Why should Ruto's daughter attack Uhuru Kenyatta direct on media? Did you see that? She was part of the arms scandal. But Uhuru has not come down to penalize anybody because it is in the law, in the process. Sergeant Kenyatta, we must fight for people who have died. Jamani, lalo, watu wamekufa. Juu ya vitu just to be in something, and then because they say they think you are going to report, they kill you. Surely, that man went and left his children. Nobody goes there to see the children and the wife. I am sure some of them would like to go there and ask the wife for sex. They have forgotten that they killed the father. Yeah. We must not forget easily, Jamen. Those arms were coming to Kenya to do what? If they had landed in Kenya, where would you sell them? Did you know the user country? What was the user country, Miriam? Where were they going to be sold? Was it Kenya? End user certificate. What was it saying? So if they were in Kenya, who would be having them if we had not got this? Yenye mchunge sana. Ndio hiyo. ICC ita announce the chief prosecutor very soon. I rest my case. If it is Karim Khan, there will be a war within ICC.
As he has conflict of interest.
Yes. Technically, they will go out to the Secretary General of the United Nations to eliminate him, get him out of the race. You know, the Secretary General is the managing director of the company called ICC. He's the one who pays the salaries. It's an international body under the UN mandate. That's why you see they are protected. You can't slap the Sudan. You can ask her if she was beautiful. Slowly. But she's not beautiful. Very ugly. the way she did these cases in Africa has made me to hate my color. I hate this color. We are used by Bazungu. A Mzungu calls you, go and kill Victor, you kill. A Mzungu tells you, go and put poison in Victor's food so that tomorrow you take power. No. That was very wrong. That was very wrong. And I'm very sad that the chief prosecutor, the suspect in Kenya, who was Ruto, works very hard with Hassan Omar. Mudhama. You remember Mudhama telling people, let them go. Let Harwale. What did Harwale say? There, they go. Let them go. Funga kabisa na kifunguo tupa. But life that's why Ruto should be the first person to endorse BBI. Because it will help him more. He has already endorsed BBI working with Hassan Omar. Isn't it? That's this big BBI. That terrorist guy from the sea, the coast town of this where the patron of Haki Africa, the group where an Italian nun was kidnapped by Al-Shabaab. You know, Hassan Omar had disappeared. As soon as the ransom was paid in Italy, he reappeared. Mnaona watu wanakula pesa ya mzuri sana ya chini chini. For us, we are here, saliva. You know, Hassan Omar is the patron of the agency. They aided the kidnap. And then aided the removal. Go to any intelligence network. Muone how much money the Italian government paid and where it entered, who brought it. Tuko na watu hapa wabaya. Wacha Mungu atusaidie tupone, tukue kwa nchi. Tuko na watu wabaya, you my people. If you look at the way that money was shared, the Italian government paid huge money. The agency paid huge money. Then now you see Hassan Omar, you know, unfortunately looks like a victim. Somebody might mistake. Don't walk in the coast because people will say, hello, what do you do? So, ladies and gentlemen, those listening, I have put it very, very nicely. Eunice, if you didn't know, and that's why you see the figures are going up because I'm telling the truth. If you did not know, Eunice, the people who aided the kidnap of Italian nurse are the same people who aided the return of the Italian nurse. And they got money. So, Mr. Eunice, you don't know anything, Baba. Just listen. But it's okay. We are in the world. Today we don't have Somalia on the menu. No, Somalia is on the menu. That's why Eunice is coming. And I welcome you, Eunice. Again, I defeated you here. I think, Miriam, it is good for me to finish the Somali one so that you can ask general questions when I'm listening. The question of ICJ, International Court of Justice, the war between Kenya, the maritime disputed islands. Again, this is son of soil talking to you, called Dr. Matana, went under dismantled that court with that small judge, a Somali warlord attached to Farimajo, a friend of Farimajo from Farimajo's clan, who had wanted to preside over the case. I managed to dislodge and bring to the attention of the international community and the court itself that this man cannot sentence Kenya. Two, for me, I have one word to say, or one thing to say. This case should not take place. The court should suspend this case. The International United Nations Security Council, I've already drafted the letter. I am signing it this evening. It will be in BHL to the Secretary General's office, asking for a deferral because Kenyans are doing it wrongly. I don't know, Mr. President. I don't know the government. I don't work for Kenya government. But you are doing it wrongly. You are now asking Somalia that we postpone. But I'm telling you, you are in trouble. Don't go that route because the court will not postpone. The Somalis have said, they came out yesterday and they said, no, we want the case to go on. They came up on Wednesday. I published these things here. I have medicine for this Somali-Kenya maritime situation. I'm the one who has that medicine. And anybody thinking that he can dodge me and do other things, you will come back when you are crying tears. Don't battle about the argument. It is not the court. The court does not pay its salary. Let's go and plead with the master, the owner of this court. Because any judgment that will come about the Indian Ocean Islands of blocks of oil will spark a big world war in that Indian Ocean. Therefore, under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Security Council, I, Dr. David Nyekorach, Matanga, son of soil, I have petitioned the Secretary General once. I'm going to petition the Secretary General tonight. My letter is ready to go. Let nobody take credit of what things I do. Let the credit go to the people who help me at times. Not Attorney General, not Solicitor. They have never helped me. And I don't need any help from any of them to write my English. I studied in the same schools where they were. I've written a letter seeking the stoppage of the Kenyan case. If Somalia did not know, I have. And the letter will go tonight or tomorrow by Monday. It will be in the Secretary General's office. It's up to them. If I bet, if they start that case, there will be war in the Indian Ocean. There will be war. If you make an arrangement and say Somalia, these oil fields belong to Somalia, Kenya jet fighters will know in 1 minute will be bombarding any aircraft that comes near those oil blocks. If you say no, this case, these oil fields are for Somalia, are for Kenya. Somalia has hired Turkey and the Turkish planes under the guise of Somali army will be attacking us in Indian. Have you seen the war we are bringing here? So you tell me, where will the British sell their goods from China? How will you get the goods from China? The whole of the Persian Gulf will be in chaos. The Bahrain Sea, the Gulf Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Red Sea, Suez Canal will be chaos. Am I wrong? Where will you pass with your ships? So I'm clever. Give me a credit, Victor. Give it to me. Yes, some people in Kenya are sleeping, earning per diem. They are not thinking. They are going to Rongo Court, Javan. They are going to Rongo Court. You are appealing to the court that postponed the case. Why don't you write to the Secretary General? Allah. It is good I worked in a government of Milton Obote that taught me all these tactics. I'm happy to have worked with a Luo, very brainy. All this English I speak because of Obote. So what? That Museveni just harassed us. But we are the one who taught him how to speak English. So thank you, Miriam. I swear it is us who taught Museveni how to speak English. Museveni went to school because of Obote putting in Tare High School, a good school in Africa. Museveni went to Tanzania because of Obote being a friend of Nyerere. Where would he get asylum? Where? Without Obote. Where Mzee? Where Kumbuka? Remember, don't harass Obote again. Don't harass Obote's name. I am the only one. Obote's children can run away and fear their father. And their father is cursing them one by one. But the father will not curse me. That's why the father down in the grave is praying for me to remain as the only messenger. The only messenger of Uganda People's Congress. Look at me. Even Bob Wine steals my shirt. Our color. Look at me. I told you that color is troublesome. It's ours. But I promised Bob Wine one thing, Miriam, that I will give you a constituency where we win. My constituency, my father's grave, has no yellow flag. It has a red flag. We are the only constituency outside of Uganda, Matsanga's home, which delivered NUP MP. Hallelujah. So 10,000 miles away, I can deliver an MP at home. So you should fear this guy, who delivers an MP through osmosis. It is not Chagulani you should fear more. It's the guy who delivers an MP without campaign. Have you heard? Victor, you know that. An MP, you stand by phone and say, choose the color. That's the guy, not this. Because that was our color. Red is our color of Uganda People's Congress. And I will never go away. I'm the only survivor. Obote's children went and got jobs in Museveni. They are eating with Museveni, not me. That summarizes the whole topics that were remaining. We can now, Miriam can bring them to the fore for the panel to discuss from ICC, impeachment, the Uganda saga, and ICJ. Haven't I talked about them, Miriam? Ask the question, let Kirimi now roar. Let the lion of Meru roar. Let Nakuru, hallelujah. And Kidi, hallelujah. Japan, hallelujah. Me, I will listen. I've done my job.
All right. So Somalia on Thursday.
Miriam, don't forget this song. There is nobody who is not a sinner. Kwa Kiswahili, I don't know, hymn number something. Nobody who is not a sinner. And if I do the rhythm in Uganda, you can translate it in Kikuyu or Kiswahili. Tewalimu nsimuno mulongofu songa tewaliba mugulu wabula bantu beyalongosa mumusai wa Yesu.
Are you washed in the blood?
Yes. Hallelujah. Up to you, back to the studio in Nairobi. Thank you very much, engineer. Thank you very much, Kidi. Thank you, all of you. I'm watching from the scenes. But don't forget, a man who can win a constituency by osmosis is more deadly than the one being tear gassed. So, thank you. So,
okay, so Somalia.
I can direct the whole parliament to vote different.
Miriam, take it over. He will never let go of that microphone.
Thank you, Miriam. Sorry.
All right, so Somalia on Thursday rejected the Kenyan government's request to the International Court of Justice to postpone the maritime case between the two neighboring East African countries. Somalia's Information Minister Osman Dube told a news conference in the capital Mogadishu that his country has rejected Kenya's request that it made for the fourth time. And I'll quote him. "We have rejected Kenya's fourth request to the ICJ to postpone the two countries' maritime case. Justice delayed is justice denied. We should be set to head to the Hague Court on March 15th, come what may," Dube said. And we know that Kenya last month petitioned the International Court of Justice to postpone the public hearings as it protested at a missing map crucial to that case. I'll start with you, Engineer Victor. I don't know if you're familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with this maritime dispute case between Kenya and Somalia that Somalia filed at the International Court of Justice in 2014, and now Kenya has been postponing it, and this will be the fourth time. And this time Kenya is saying, there's a very important, crucial map that is pertinent to this case.
Well, personally, I think, in as much as I'm not a lawyer like Kidi Mwanga, that's his area. But at times, the exposure we have gives us some ideology or some idea behind what's going on. And again, if law is just, so at the end of the day, it's very easy to pick on exactly what should be happening. I'm looking at Somalia and the complaint that they just took to the ICJ. And I'm just wondering, when did your friend become your enemy? I'm looking at a country called Kenya that has really worked so hard to stabilize the country and to help them in one way or another, get a stable government, get a military, kit that is ready to defend the country. And I think Kenya, as a big brother, has done a lot to really ensure that that country stands. Then I go again to exactly what we have currently at the Indian Ocean. And I'm looking at the two countries. And if you look at the map in itself, there's no way or humanly possible that one country can landlock another at the Indian Ocean. Because if you look at the boundary that they want drawn against this country called Kenya, it basically means that we shall never have access until they agree for us to access the Indian Ocean. And I think whoever drew that map is up to no good. It's just malice. And I think at the end of the day, just like Daktari has said, this is a war that is actually now cooking. And whatever these courts do at the moment or whatever decision they make will basically ban this region. Mm-hmm. Number two, I would want to dwell again on that issue of the ICC, not to comment on how they're performing, but I remember initially when we were doing this thing some years back with Masanga, there was this narrative that this court is there to harass or to just make it difficult for the Africans, for Africans. Mm-hmm. And from the many cases that we've seen them work on, we have seen them addressing issues in Africa only. But on the same note, I would want us to address on what is the main objective. The other day I had inboxed Daktari on this issue of the African Union. Javan there had talked about maybe the African Union should come up with a way of how things work in Africa. Maybe we could have our own military, or maybe we should have, our own way of solving our own problems internally. Mm-hmm. A country called Rwanda, in one way or another, had their own way of dealing with their own issues. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the country today, it may look peaceful and it may look nice and everybody's happy about it. But at the end of the day, they had their own internal mechanisms, which personally, I feel appreciative of that process. And I'm wondering, if they did it, why would we not look at it as Africans and look for a way out? African Union, I think we have failed to understand the objective of the African Union such that we quickly run to the ICC or run to the United Nations, like they are the only ones who have a solution for us. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a bigger challenge at hand on how to address issues of us believing in ourselves, mm-hmm. because even our own cultures, traditionally, they had ways of dealing with problems that we face on a daily basis. And somehow they solved our problems. If there was an issue of a boy going and impregnating another girl, traditionally we had ways of solving and addressing the issue. Mm-hmm. But if you look at how we have put aside our own culture and the belief on our own systems, then it means we will never agree on anything because they will always play a game on us. And before we know it's a game, we're already slaughtering each other. African Union, Dr. Masanga, I want to give you an assignment. You're well versed in this, and I think you can bring out what are the key objectives of the African Union? What should we hold our president on issue pertaining African Union? What should we expect our president to agree on and disagree upon against on issues to do with African Union? Because at the end of the day, if African Union does not serve the purpose of Africa, then what is the purpose of having the union in the first place? I think maybe failure to understand, and maybe at times I think it's our ignorance, but I feel like I should be in a position to push my president to attain a certain objective under the African Union. But first of all, I must understand what African Union is all about. And we seem not to get it. That's my take on this African Union. I think we need to start agitating and pushing for deliverance and for things that reality on the ground for this African Union. If it's a whole hogwash kind of thing, let's look for something else. We can get another outfit. But as for now, I feel like African Union is actually doing a disservice to Africans.
Very well said, and I think that is something that we've said here time and time again. But that's what we have to deal with here. So is it perhaps about time we look for another outfit that will represent the interests of the continent of Africa and will effectively address, the things that this continent badly wants addressed? Javen Karanja.
Yeah, it is time, Miriam, that we have a way as Africans of solving our own disputes without relying on external forces from the outside. One thing that Engineer Victor Gadi have said majors on as reviving the spirit and objective of why we have Africa Union in the first place. If they cannot come and bring solutions to Africans, nations when they have disputes, then I don't see the need of having it in the first place. And number two, the issue of Somalia and Kenya. If we continue with the ICC case and they make a determination, and to some point they say that the oil block belongs to Kenya, then the people of Somalia will not sit plenty when we are doing that. And if it goes the vice versa, the people of Kenya will not sit down and see the people of Somalia benefit immensely economically from oil blocks that are supposed to be in Kenya. Therefore, the two countries are supposed to come up with solutions, internal dispute resolutions, in a way that we'll be able, or if it's to divide, we divide the blocks, or we share the profits equally. We need to negotiate and have a talk, but that one will not happen when we still have Farmajo as the president of Somalia, because he has shown he does not want a peaceful, a diplomatic negotiation between the two countries. Therefore, we have a problem, and I don't see ICC as the main way, as the main gate to our solution. To some extent, it might end or fuel or add a catalyst to the problems that we are having as a region. Therefore, it is high time as Somalia and Kenya, they sit down and they negotiate. But Mr. Farmajo must show the goodwill to talk and to have a decent talk around the issues that affect the two countries. We have seen him accuse Kenyans falsely of training militias, interfering with their internal affairs like the elections and so on, things that are not grounded on facts, but they are just mere propaganda to portray Kenya as a country that does not want peace. And we know for a fact, Kenya has said it's military. Kenya has worked hard to ensure that Somalia stabilizes. We have their refugees in this country. We host them. We have people in this country from Somalia who work and live decently in this country. When you go to Nairobi, you go to major towns, you see them, and nobody is fighting them, because we exist as a people, because we are all Africans, despite the imaginary boundaries that we have. We are all the same people. We suffer the same problems as a people of Africans. Therefore, we need to work well. And I conclude by saying, ICC is not the only way to solve our problems. As I said earlier, we need to have our own continental court that can be dealing with such issues. And if we had our African way, I think this issue could have been settled way back, because we deal with Africans. And one thing that we must agree, in all African communities, we have one common denominators, and they used to have elders across the all African communities, something that can solve issues. And we see the respect that comes even in these Somalis when the elder speaks, they listen. We can have an alternative mechanism of solving these disputes without relying on the input from the ICC, because to some extent they might not be wishing as well, and we run there. Therefore, we will not benefit. Therefore, it's high time that we Africans, the AU, we come and refigure out why we need to have a giant body that is vibrant, that is working to service the people of Africans and working for Africans to have a better continent. That is the only way we'll command respect. That is the only way, as a people, we'll be able to attract and to be respected by our counterparts from other continents.
Thank you so much, Jevon. Yeah, you're saying alternative conflict resolution there. But we know Kenya has been wanting to have an out-of-court settlement with Somalia, but Somalia has not been very keen on that. They're saying when they wanted the same, Kenya was not responding favorably. So now ICJ is the only way they're following. Douglas, Kenya is seeking to postpone this case the fourth time.
Thank you, Miriam. And Kenya should continue with their quest to postpone this case, because this is a case that pits Kenya and powers that be in the West. This is not the doing of Farmajo and his cabinet ministers in Mogadishu or his administration or the people of Somalia. Remember, Somali people are turning against the people of Kenya as far as the oil blocks in Indian Ocean are concerned, because Farmajo is being pushed from the outside world. Farmajo is no longer himself. And these powers that continue undermining the role of Kenya in Somalia and also in the region are powers that would have wanted to benefit, like Total through France in our well blocks in Turkana, that they didn't get an opportunity. People like Norway, people like Turkey and Qatar continue undermining Kenya and also through Farmajo. And that's why I've been saying, and very categorical on the same, and I've said that Farmajo should be able to keep off the Kenyan affairs, and also should stop using the Kenyan affair, bring the nationalism card in Somalia for him to be elected. We need to be able to deal with these issues decisively, and also as a region, and also as two countries. We need to bilaterally talk and also engage with each other, not talking against each other like the way Somalia has been doing. When the report has been made by IGAD concerning Kenya, Somalia dismisses it. So when Kenya tries to stop the case at ICJ so that we can be able to have a conversation around the same, Somalia opposes the same. We continue seeing and also manifest of tendencies from the West that are being bred out from Mogadishu, and we continue seeing what the West has been doing through Farmajo. They don't want anything to do with Kenya. They want us to lose our well blocks in Indian Ocean, and that is surrendering our sovereignty to demagogues and people that are not interested in their country, in peace in their country, but their selfish agenda, and also that continue delimiting the influence of Kenya again over its natural resources and also sovereignty in their country. Remember, when these people continue doing this, it weakens our in the region and also weakens our sovereignty as a people. The next minute you will hear that they want to annex some part of Kenya, and then they wake up and annex it, and then they keep opposing when we go to the International Court of Justice. These are tendencies that we are seeing, which are very bad tendencies that should be stopped by all means, and also Farmajo should be stopped. And I believe for Somalia to continue exerting its role as a sovereign country, as a sovereign federal republic of Somalia, they need to be able to get rid of Farmajo this month. They need to show him the door. If they don't get rid of Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, they are going to be suffering as a country. Remember, over that years ago, during the fall of Siad Barre, Somalia went into a civil war. That years later, the nephew of Siad Barre wants to take his country back to dogs. because of his selfishness and also his corruption. We cannot continue as a country sitting and watching Farmajo degenerate into a demagogue who continues undermining the role of Kenya in pacifying the peace in Somalia, and also who continues threatening our sovereignty as a people when he continues associating with members of his own cabinet who are Al-Shabaab working in Mogadishu, and who continue threatening our national security as a people and as a nation. Kenya has suffered enough, and there is a report that was made that says that Kenya has made the largest human sacrifices in terms of keeping the peace in Somalia, in terms of bringing peace in Somalia. We have suffered the most, including our own human sacrifices, not counting the monetary support that we have given their country. But all they are doing is the demagoguery that we are seeing that is being exercised from Vira Somalia by Farmajo and his Western allies, who continue undermining our role as a sovereign country, and also as a great nation who has been working for the peace and progress of Somalia. For us to continue as a region working together with the honor for the peace of Africa, Farmajo must go. For us to continue cooperating with Somalia bilaterally, Somalia President Mohamed Farmajo must go. For us to be able to continue pacifying peace in Somalia and also leaving that country very peaceful, Farmajo must go. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, as I said there earlier, Kenya has petitioned the International Court of Justice to postpone public hearings on the Indian Ocean boundary dispute with Somalia scheduled for next month, even as it protested at a missing map crucial to its case. The government has objected to proceedings via video link, arguing that COVID-19 has frustrated Kenya's preparations for the case and insisting only in-person hearings at the Peace Palace, the seat of the court, would guarantee a level playing field. Kenya has informed the court that it shall not participate in a hearing as a mere formality. Grave dangers to the country's national security depending on the outcome of the case that was filed in 2014, and in an application for postponement of the case dated January 28th, Attorney General Kihara Kariuki says Kenya will be unable to defend itself fairly, fully and transparently if the scheduled hearing proceeded by video link. Kidi.
Yes, Miriam, this matter puts our national interest in very grave danger, in the sense that Somalia is not acting on its own motion, neither is it acting in good faith. That said, is that therefore all the issues raised by Somalia are issues that the country must address itself to comprehensively during the hearing. And therefore, that is why I identify with the government's position that it will not appear on this matter as a mere formality. Because one, it is a matter that we've said here before, that Kenya has played a stabilizing role in the East African region. Truth is, Kenya has handled itself with grace. It is neither boss nor a big brother in this region, but it has demonstrated good neighborliness to ensure that even the people of Somalia are able to have a government that responds to them. So, in regards to this question, to the case at the ICJ, is that Kenya must have opportunity and there's a sufficient opportunity and time to respond sufficiently to the claims by the ICJ, and if anything, also find an opportunity to plead with the court to permit it to pursue an out-of-court settlement, so that the issues around the East African coast can be addressed in a manner that then permits the countries to continue living in peace. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. It's about 7 minutes past 1 p.m. there. I think we'll go to our next topic, and that is on Ugandan election. Yes.
Miriam, we still have some. You want another topic on summary on this? Because there are several issues that have come out that I need to clarify for the panel in the future when they are discussing the ICJ. One of our viewers has said Kenya used the missing map as the case of a dog at my textbook, my homework. I think all of you who are in a school, when you go to the teacher and tell the teacher that the dog ate my homework, no teacher will be very pleased. The point I want to make here, maybe before you close on this issue, is, as Kidi has said, and Victor and my friend, the panel, the other panelists, it is a very, very serious issue. And therefore, the government of Kenya, if they are listening now, because I don't work for them, I'm an independent Pan-Africanist. My organization, Pan-African Forum, took a stand and I went to that court and I opposed the existence of this case. It is there on record. But the way the Kenyan government is doing it is not right. It's not good. If you look at the way, you can't give an excuse that your map was missing. Nobody is going to accept it. Surely. Whose map is missing from where? And at times we should stand out openly and say where we have gone wrong. It is high time the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the Minister of Foreign Affairs sat down on this issue. Because for me, I speak openly. Those who want to hate me. So what will you do? You hate me. I've never come to your office seeking for any money to go and do what I do. No, I do my things. And it is not that route that can stop this case. Let me be very frank. And let's not give President Uhuru Kenyatta more hard, sleepless nights. Let's help him. You can't apply to that same court and say the map is missing. The court is not going to give you an extension. Let's apply, let's carry this whole burden and draw it to the owner of the dog. Who is the owner of the dog? Is the Secretary General of the United Nations. Let's not, Jermaine, we went to school. I don't know when Kenya will learn to do international lobby. On ICC, it's the same thing. When I was running for the ICC, one woman amongst these people who is drawing salary, I was putting my books for lobby opposing the ICC. I swear in the name of God, I found this woman with the ambassador of Kenya in the Netherlands called Makina, carrying my books. I have never told anybody. Throwing my books in a dustbin. Stupid. They are very stupid. And today I'm insulting them. I know I can name them now. And yet my books were defending Uhuru Kenyatta and the Ocampo 6. This woman, because I'm not a Kenyan, she went and ordered for my books. And when I was entering, I had packed my books so well. She picked out, she told embassy staff to pick out my books and throw them in a dustbin. This has reminded me something, how I suffered to defend His Excellency the President and this Ocampo 6. That woman today is drawing a lot of salary, the huge salary with the escort. So when I found them, I said, why are you carrying my books? Why are you throwing my books in the dustbin? Oh, sorry. Oh, doctor, we didn't know it is your. I said, read them. Why don't you carry the books of other NGOs, of Gladio Otieno, and throw them? Why are you throwing my books? My pamphlets. And they had given us exhibition. Can you imagine Ngatia? And I was defending my material. And can I make you laugh? My material when things became hot inside the hall, the foreign minister of Kenya, by then, who had just arrived from Geneva, and the Attorney General and the DPP, who is currently the Minister of Forests, this man of environment, they came to me and they said, "Hey, Mazanga, help." I had to put my hand up to help. And this woman was in the delegation seated there who had thrown my books out. So there is something, someone, time reaches, someone says it. And I've said it. Quote me. If you want, I will not name that name today, but I will tell the authorities who it was. Today she's earning salary. So they are doing, look at it, what they are doing now. How do you write such a letter that the map was missing? Miriam, who is the custodian of the map? No, who is the the basic thing to write is to say one of the representing officers is COVID, is in a hospital under intensive care unit. Wait until he gets out. That one they will help. Or under a ventilator. Sidio Victor. Lakini kuandika map missing. Who is going to give you an extension? What is killing this case is ego. Ego, ego, ego. People feel they know everything. So when you bring in your idea, someone could even want, who doesn't even know many of those streets, who doesn't know whom to lobby in order for you to change the chief prosecutor's selection, wants to underrate you. It's not very good. And that is going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause a lot of problems, Miriam. You think the reason of a map missing is good enough for the American judge who has taken over? You think they Gifu Mwangai, a relative of the president, did not see there was a Somali judge on the panel? You tell me. Gifu Mwangai did not know that the Somali judge is related to Farimaju. He knew. But because he wanted to become a judge also in the same court, he left Kenya to enter. I am glad that he has not even applied to be the Chief Justice of Kenya. I'll write 200 pages to oppose him. Today, let me tell you, there are some people I am happy about. We did not even talk about the selection of the Chief Justice, Miriam. We just jumped and left 7 of the topics, but we can do them on Sunday.
We still have, we can still talk about them.
No,
I wanted to go
on Sunday. It's already one. On Sunday, I was waiting for some names to come out in the Chief Justice list. I had sharpened my English.
Yes.
But thanks God, they have not appeared. And hallelujah.
Dr. Masanga, let me interject.
Yes,
allow me to. For the longest time, I've seen you really follow through the ICC issues and these international court cases. You're very well versed and very knowledgeable. And at times, I get the many times you visited State House and we had a good time and related to the president. And at times I wonder, the people behind or the advisors to the president, do they give you an ear at times, or do they just think you are nobody? Because at times it pains to understand that things go wrong, you more than enough times prove them wrong. Don't they have the humanity to just think through what is Daktari saying? Does he have a point? And if you don't listen to him, he goes ahead and writes to the ICC and he still gets his way there. I mean, is there no wisdom in it? I'm just getting lost there, Daktari.
I think, let me remove these things first so that I can answer you nicely. In fact, you have asked a very good question, and I want all of you to listen attentively. There is one problem in Africa. When you outshine people, you become a target of problems. And you younger people who are growing up, especially Kirimi, and others who are outspoken now, Kidi, you, I, and engineer. Engineer has suffered the same fate like I have. When you outshine people, when people think you are outshining them, you are getting credit. You are, in fact, these guys are more dangerous than the person you are facing. There are people within systems who feel, if you allowed this guy, you remember when I did this case of ICC? You know why I survived all this, even arrest? I was arrested by Ocampo, and as I told you, all this. I went through because I have been doing them on my own. I have never gone to the deputy president's office. Even for one day, my picture has never been seen there on camera that I have come to talk on ICC or I have come to take a coffee. I have never gone to State House, to His Excellency, to say, I did this, I did that, I did that. No, because I did it as a volunteer. And I want you younger men to learn. It's better to volunteer and to be thanked. For example, unless you throw me in Eldoret, but if you throw me in Nairobi or in Kiambu and start shouting Matanga, people will come to carry me and rescue me. If I was a Kenyan and I stood here for a slot as an MP in Kiambu, South Gatundu, or where, they will give me as an MCA direct. Or Nyeri, my favorite place. They will give me because they know me with what I stood. Why? Because I never touched people's fingers. I did what I could do. That's the reward of thanks. I don't need a reward of money. At 65, where was Ruto feeding me? Is he my father? Is he my father? I started working for the president in 1980. Where was he? He was still in pajamas. Where? Yes. 1980, I was working in the president's office as a personal assistant of a president, one of the Pan-African presidents. That's why I like Pan-Africanism. Obote. I traveled everywhere, Singapore, where? Take me, Cuba, what? North Korea, eat some snakes. I ate even a snake. You know, yeah, snake in have you seen snake wine? I learned quite a lot of things. Some of the things I'm talking here are through experience. In a nutshell, to answer your question, people fear. People come and take credit. Now you see the mistake here. Even the Somalis are laughing at us. They are saying a book. Eunice, you know Eunice is from Mogadishu. Is saying, it's like a saying, if Kenya does not appear, he said Kenya is not serious about the whole thing. He said a missing map is a pure case of a dog ate my homework. You can't use such. So in a nutshell, yes, there are people who appreciate my work. And I believe the government appreciates my work. But there are people who take credit of what. And then there are those who really don't want you to come closer. Imagine that woman who tore my books. If I tell you the post she holds today, eh? you would think that, I'm telling you, there are even people, witnesses. There are people who actually wrote to fix President Uhuru Kenyatta. The type of cars and the chase cars they have. Me, I cannot even have a tire of the chase car. People, which is good. But at that time, they thought they wanted me detained. They even wanted me locked up. They wanted me killed. I want to thank President Kibaki for standing firm. Saitote wanted me actually removed. You remember? Ocampo came here and said, I want him arrested. They arrested me. Detained me in Fairview Hotel, where you cannot jump. If you jump this side, is an Israeli embassy. The other side, boss, where do you go? There's a GSU. These men with red everywhere. So where do you jump? You have to eat food there 3 days. I had the only person who was allowed to see me was Danny Mwangi. You know him from Nakuru. You know that younger man. Danny Mwangi, my PA, and another man, and my solicitor called Charles Taku, one of the most powerful lawyers in the whole world, who used to come in the morning to bring me to see whether I'm alive. And I want to thank another person whom I cannot mention on this show, who was watching and making sure that I'm not killed. Boss, I was going to die. I didn't know. And here am I. I came to help, which I have done very well. Even God up there will not say I did a very wrong thing. So, people don't listen. This case cannot be tackled in that court. That case should not, if you can't plead that way to the judges, they will start this case and they will go into judgment. I'm telling you, they will go into judgment and it will be finito. There will be a war. So don't worry about me. I'm not a person who wants rewards. I don't want peeps, rewards. No. It is you. Haven't you found me today? You have found me. I'm doing very well. But if I had got rewards, maybe I would have gone to Athi River. Yeah, people here, yes, Athi River. Because what I have studied systems. Don't ever antagonize system when you are not capable. So I'm happy. But at times when you reach a point, I have conviction. I am convinced that this case between Somalia and Kenya should not go to court. Somalia is the brother of Kenya. Kenya is the brother of Somalia. They should come out and sit down and say, let's bring one company to do the survey, they drill the oil, the money 50-50 if they want. Or leave it as it is. They can come back and find amicable under the AU constitutive arrangement. You don't talk about borders. Because these borders were drawn by Bismarck in 1884. And the Bismarck is dead. You can't go back and ask him in the grave, why did you make Malikisi River to be in Kenya side and the Matanga on Utiru, Bumbo, the other side, Bungoma, where Tangula and I, we should be in the same place. You can't. So that is the situation, Miriam. That's the situation, Victor. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
It's fine. I'm just not understanding why. But anyway, I think ego comes out very loud. Ego is killing.
People don't want people. Hakuna mtu anataka wewe umpigie credit. Wewe kama unakuwa hapo, huyu mzee anakuona na macho, anasema mtu mzuri sana. There is that thing. It is bad. I saw it somewhere in Zimbabwe, where I and Jonathan Moyo almost killed me at the airport. When he saw Mugabe was not there, he arranged people to kill me. Because I was giving Mugabe direction that don't go that way, you just engage the British. And the people wanted Mugabe to go violently so that they make more money. You get the point? So it is ego. Even in cooperation, for example, if you are the secretary, the CEO, and the CEO knows that engineer has several degrees than him, there is a problem always. Eh? It is local thing. Even in the 2007, most of the fight was on someone had a good woman and I had an ugly one. The fights in the Rift Valley, was it? Yes. You live there and don't tell me you don't know. Some people attacked their neighbors because Madame there who next door was more beautiful than yours. And you have been, eyeing that farm. So this is the time now to punish you. Some of them went to the women, he said, I can rescue you, but not the husband. Didn't you hear of that? Let me go, Madam, come to our house. Because then he arranges for you to be killed down the road. Then he can take over you. You see, I rescued you. Would have died with the husband. Chuki. Watu wanachukiana. But it is not a big problem. Not me. Don't worry about that, Victor. No. I know what I do, and what I touch will never fail, because I believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Peke yake. Miriam, any questions or close, or we go to Uganda? Since you have, I know, since you have allowed another 30 minutes.
It's 1:30. Maybe the panelists could be tired by now.
Yes, they are. Let's not tie the. Thank you very much, Victor, for coming today. And our next show is on Sunday at 2 p.m. I'll send you the program, and all our shows start at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, and during you can come in all the time at 11 o'clock. Sure. All
right. Let's know that.
Make your timetable.
Anytime I'm available, I will make sure I have something for us, and we can always share.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You can prepare your own show also, your own program, and you can tell us what it is. Prepare it. And we give you to guide us. We can also sit in the backyard and we discuss the topic. There's a platform here on BBI, on Unity, on anything. As a correspondent from Nakuru, no problem. After all, I and Miriam, we have talked and our voices need to rest a bit. So if you can come in to anchor us, no problem, sir.
I hear you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
Challenge is taken.
Yes. Thank you very much, Kidi. Thank you very much, Jamba. Thank you very much from Nanyuki. Thank you very much from Meru, the son of Meru. Kirimi. Today you are not as vibrant as.
No, he was fireworks.
No, he's fireworks, but he must have hammered a lot of chai. T. You are.
I'm okay, Doc. I'm okay.
Thank you very much, Miriam. We want to thank you very much for hosting us. And I want to wish all of you a good Valentine weekend. Victor, I don't know what you are going. Before you leave, one by one, Victor, what are you going to do for Valentine?
Well, some of these ladies love surprises. And I wouldn't be surprised that there's a link they're watching and I'm saying whatever I'm up to. So I'm sure Miriam would agree with me that I shouldn't tell you exactly what I'm planning. But there's something good for my lovely wife, yes. And I'm going to surprise her with trying to be as romantic as possible. We are told Kikuyus are not romantic. So I'm trying to really fight that jargon until I get it right.
Are you an African?
Yes, I am an African. Totally.
Let me remove my glasses first. And you mean you are romantic? Are you not romantic all days?
No. Our women have been designed to believe that romance.
Who? Which woman?
Our women have.
Not mine.
Our women. Let's keep it that way. Our women have been given this analogy or narrative that romance is how they do it in the West. So for us to be romantic, it is not about how masculine we get. It is about how the Western world dictates it. So I'm trying to see how I can get my wife back into a way of being romantic. But if they don't get it, of course, I need to do a bit of what they expect. And that's how I'm trying.
Okay, just hold them. We go slowly. Let's come to Kidi.
Yes.
No, Jermaine, first of all, Miriam, lady and gentlemen, this is Friday. Friday, usually, all television stations do some laughter issues. We have been discussing hard subjects only. It's better also, even if you don't have a girlfriend, like I suspect some people here don't have, or they don't want to declare. You just say, I am zero, I'm seated at home, I'll drink tea and sleep. Kitty.
Kitty, you are being led somewhere. Be careful.
I am a modest man, but then, I love rumba and country music. So this Sunday, sorry?
Yeah, go on.
So this Sunday, I will be getting hold of Sir Elvis around Nairobi and listen to some good country music.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, thank you. Elvis, and how will you treat your partner?
Myself?
I don't know whether you have a partner. No, you tell us. Anyway, because are you going alone to see Elvis or what?
Of course, where Sir Elvis will be playing will be a place where there is good food and good drinks.
Okay, I get your answer. Kirini, your plans for Sunday. You see, no, it is a weekend of Valentine. We can't leave this station without saying to Valentine people, me, at least I will tell you what I'm going to do.
I can't wait.
Kirimi.
Okay, I want to send the flowers and maybe take her out for dinner on Saturday, because on Saturday I'll be in church praying for this nation because the president doesn't want it to leave. So between today and tomorrow I'll be busy doing those Valentine stuff. On Sunday I'll be in church.
Hey, okay, all right. Flowers. Do you know the meaning of Valentine?
Daktari, I know your reservations about it, but at the end of the day, if I take flowers to her, I take her to wherever that she has never been. So I know what touches her heart, and that is my way of talking and also winning her heart more. So allow your son to marry in peace.
Thank you. Karanja. Javan.
Yeah, thank you, Daktari.
My man from Nanyuki.
I think in the whole panel, I'm the only person who have been invited in the secret and disclosed press men's conference. because there we people who are not giving out.
Surprise! Yes.
We are not giving flowers.
Men's conference.
Yeah, we go in an undisclosed place. Therefore, on Sunday, don't look me anyway. I'll not be found. We go there and we discuss the issue so that we better it on the coming next Valentine. My Valentine, this Valentine. And my fellow men there.
Okay. Now, for Miriam, we don't ask.
Yes.
Because she is a lady. And somebody must actually make her feel happy.
For Miriam, you don't ask and you don't discuss. So let's move on.
I think
let's move to the next. Yes.
She's not, we don't need to ask her. Me, you want me to tell you what I'll do?
Yes, please, Daddy.
I'll wake up and pray and eat my food as usual.
At the undisclosed location or where?
No, my house.
All right.
In London.
Yes.
Good.
All right.
No, nothing for Mama. No, nothing.
No, for what? For what? We Africans, for what? Mama, if she wants money, I've given her already. How she uses it, don't tell me. But you need to say, I'm buying you flowers for what? What are flowers? What is flower?
But, Daktari.
No, do you know the meaning of flowers? What do they do? No, it is nothing.
That thing is sweet carrying it in town, Daktari.
No, they can't. You know, the problem is to be enslaved. You have been enslaved now because the whole town has become red. That's why we are mentally enslaved, because we see the color red. We also then we give these women a lot of ego. No, not ego. Hii ya kutembea ya kusema break the family.
Dr. May I beg to tell you, we are not in the men's conference. Miriam is present, so we need to be very sensitive.
Yeah, we're careful, yes. I know she knows. I'm not, no, for me, Miriam knows me time and time again that on this day I'm very careful. I have my last born daughter, who is 22 years old now, and my wife. They can go and eat anywhere they want. They can go and relax, but they don't expect me to be enjoyed. I'm a conservative.
With the new generation, I think you become very
yes,
old.
Because I'm very old. I've been married for 43 years.
But some of us are very young. Just like Remy is saying, we should let him marry in peace.
Yeah, I've left you to marry in peace, including you, engineer. And so this weekend, you are all right. But for me, I want to discourage people laziness. You see, we African men become lazy when we copy things we don't use. What is it buying a flower? Unapata watu huko town wamebeba hii maflower kubwa. And the children at home have hunger. Flower moja hii basket iko ya trade 15,000. That you are buying love for 1 hour.
But there is a lot of food in Meru have taken care of.
Then why are you carrying flowers?
I want to make her happy.
I am sure the type of flowers you are buying are not 1 shilling. I know you, knowing from your way of dressing and the coat, the type of dress you have. I know you very well. The type of expenditure you spend, you are aware you have even your receipts on a daily basis. So I know you are my friend. I know you are high flyer. And that is the problem. You are going to buy flowers of 25,000. And then, anyway, for you now, you are a younger man. You don't have any side issues. Like some of us have side issues. that disturb us. You are here, the telephone comes for the relative X has died. This girl is your cousin, he wants to go to school. You know, me, I have more problems than an MP. So, yes, everything, because I'm the firstborn Victor. So everything has come to me. Since my father was mercilessly finished by one single tall Munyankole, everything has come to me. So I have to look for this, I have to look for this. So I have no time to wait to buy a flower. If you are waiting for a flower from David Matanga, you will wait until Ruto comes.
You seem to really hate the flower, but the flower is African. It's not necessarily Europe or Western.
I've not hated the flower.
A flower is only what we plant in our gardens, in our farms. Yes. Go to the beautiful lands of Uganda. There are a lot of flowers, not necessarily from the Western world.
Because I live here in Europe. I've seen, look at Miriam who is laughing. I've seen the problem I have.
I have to go now.
Yeah,
so that you can continue discussing flowers. Thank you so much for watching.
We have finished. Thank you very much, viewers, but we can continue with our discussion. Thank you very much. The flowers are welcome. I want you a good weekend. I want you to have a good weekend. Whatever format, whatever you want to do with your family, with your relative, with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, that is very good. For me, I'm a conservative man, and I would not do anything in praise of a Valentine who killed people in Italy. He was an Italian, Valentine. I hope you know the story. So engineer, go and read about Valentine. You might change your mind before Sunday.
By the way, Daktari, on that issue of not agreeing with the Valentine, you know, it is African for us to look for a reason to kill a goat. So Valentine did what he did. He killed shauri yake, all right? So, but for any reason for me to have a good time with my wife, so be it. It's not about a memory to remember Valentine. Forget about Valentine. It's me and my wife.
What's the use of having a good time for 1 hour, then tomorrow her lips are like a
No, not necessarily.
I want to have life.
There are good times, there are bad times. So a good reason to have a good time, so be it, you know? Just like we've had a good time for the last 2 hours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer. We meet on Sunday, 2 p.m. East African Standard Time. All of you, we meet on the Kirimi and the Kidi. I will talk to you later. We meet.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jabani Karanja.
The man himself in the men's conference.
Daktari.
Don't worry me now also.
Daktari.
Yes.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.